Hey, welcome everybody. I hope you're all doing very well. Today we are going to be doing the Shortbeard tournament. This is going to be the land battle variant here on Total Warhammer 3. So welcome, my name's Logic, and over the past maybe year and a half now, we're doing basically just primarily Warhammer 3 content for the multiplayer scene. And obviously with the Shortbeard League, this is a league built for brand new players coming into the scene, because it is quite scary coming into a scene that has such a steep learning curve. So trying to provide content that is, really going to be helping new players get into the multiplayer scene. So welcome. Sorry for the slightly late start. OBS really hates Warhammer 3, and it refuses to pick it up sometimes. So managed to get it working. Hopefully we're going to be able to kick this off, and let's get it going. I'm sorry for the late start yet again. Bit of a nightmare here for Warhammer 3. Right, so let's do this here with the guys. Let's get it ready to go. So it looks like we're going to be having Ogre Kingdoms going up against Grand Cathay. We're going to be starting here on the Kislev Troll Country, and a pretty good flight per map. So how's everybody doing? So we are going to have Midnight Sun, Butter Eyes Mark, and we are going to have Crawford. Welcome. Howdy. How is everybody? Hope you're all doing very, very well. So after this game, we'll get the scorecards up, but on the right-hand side, we are, of course, going to be having, I believe it's Matthew here with the Slaughtermaster of the Great Moor. Also, we're going to be having a Hunter and a bunch of other infantry as well. We're going to be having the Lord of Yin over here on the left with Grand Cathay, and looks like we are going to be having a Terracotta Sentinel, which looks super fun. Bucket loads of Peasant Spearmen. We're going to be having some Sword and Shield Jade Warriors, double Grand Cannons. We are going to have the Dragon Guard as well here for the elite anti-large armor-piercing infantry, and it should be rather good. So, if you guys are enjoying today's stream, do feel free to smash that like button. It really does help here a lot on the channel. And yeah, just sit back, grab some snacks, maybe a drink or two, and let's get and enjoy some of the games here. I do apologise as well. We're getting into kind of hay fever season here, so it's having absolute havoc on my eyes at the moment. So I am struggling to see, so I do apologise with that. So, for Matt, we are going to have Saber Tusk packs over here on the left. We are going to be having Ogre Balls as well as Iron Fists. Iron Fists here are going to be having the shields, so they're becoming the bronze shields, and I think just a little bit more armor. Noble Trappers in the front there, going to be, of course, with Stalk. They're going to have those throwing knives in the front. Gorges, just one unit. Noblars as well as more Ogre Balls. Ogre Ball dual weapons. Ogre Ball Iron Fists, and another Saber Tusk pack. In the back, we are going to have a Hunter. He's going to be on a Stonehorn today, of course, giving him that terror. We are going to have the Noblar Thief Stone, just in case we need a bit of unspottable, maybe getting in the back and compromising a lot of those Grand Cannons. But it doesn't really look that even. It looks like it favours the red side here quite a bit. And that's going to be it. That's going to be it here. We are going to have the anti-large armor-piercing missiles. Those big, juicy javelins can really do some good work. So the Slaughtermaster here with the Blunt Cleaver, and also going to be here with the Spell of the Great Moor. So no law passive, which, with just having, big powerful spells is not that important. So as we saw, Pets along the Spearman here along the front line, we are going to be having the Celestial Dragon Guard, one either side here of the triple Iron Hill Gunners. We are going to be having Sword and Shield Jade Warriors in the middle, double Grand Cannons, the Lord of Yin, and then we're going to have a Terracotta Sentinel. So, on a Grey Longmar, the Lord of Yin is going to be having Arcane Conduit, the Jade Amulet, as well as the Will of the Dragons. Nice +4 leadership, really can help here in the front line. Alongside the Ancestral Warrior Summon, Mirror Missile, and then also the Storm of Shadows. Yeah, very strong stuff. Very, very strong stuff. Error, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Oh, that's not gone well. Why is that? Yep, Mr. YouTube. Hey, Mr. Wobbeat, I hope you're doing well. Are you guys seeing a clear picture? Do I sound fine? How is it all for you guys? Do let me know. On my side, it's saying it's not doing very well. Don't particularly know why it's not doing very well. Hopefully it's doing okay. So Gorgeous from Matt going to be on the left-hand side of the battlefield. Maybe get those stalked units around the side, and hopefully compromising some of the Iron Hill Gunners here in the back. Maybe even getting onto some Grand Cannons could be the sneaky play. We are going to have some Saber Tusks on the right-hand side. More Hunters as well coming around here. We do have a Grand Cannon split up on either side, so it could get rather interesting. Let's open up the PC. I think it's struggling a little bit. Yes, this is not receiving very well. Well, what can I do to video and audio all good for me? Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, dude. Really appreciate that. And we have started. Here we go. So the force is coming forward here. Ogre Balls charging alongside the Noblars. They're moving through the trees. Grand Cannon's going to be firing forward here. Look at the deletion there on the Ogre Balls. Lovely damage indeed. And yeah, maybe they're coming for a bit of a left-hand heavy flank here on the Grand Cathay units, perhaps. Might see maybe a bit of a focus over here, and then we can slam on the right-hand side with the Hunter. And you get that nice stalked unit getting in the back, doing all that good work. Coming forward is going to be the Lord of Yin. Maybe try to see if we get forward, maybe notice any of these stalked units. It might actually be quite a smart play to play this. And, you know, quite a lot of top-tier players will do this. They'll grab the Lord, and they'll sort of come forward, and they can sort of duke with that single entity and just, you know, use that mobility to kind of scout out a lot of the units in the middle. Especially if you've got healing, you know, you can really heal out that damage you have taken. Gorgeous charging. We're actually might see Gorgeous coming up and around, and then focusing in here. What you can do is you can use a couple of these units to really hit in here, and that's going to really open up the side track here on the backhand flank. It can really open up to kind of devastate the Grand Cannons. In the back, though, we are going to have the elite of the elite. We are going to have the Celestial Dragon Guard ready to protect the Grand Cannons. We do actually have the Hunter. He's ready to get in on the side. We have a good unit of the Saber Tusks. They're going to be in weight. They will actually get taken down by Peasant Long Spearmen. They, of course, they do have that bonus first large. Boys charging forward, we are going to have the dual weapons moving into combat here. They're going to be getting forward. So actually, for the majority, we're going to be dropping back, actually, with the Peasant Long Spearmen. Maybe want to get as much value from the Iron Hill Gunners as possible. A bit of a newer player mistake here. We do see that actually the left-hand flank is going to be getting involved, whilst the remainder of the forces are not yet. Which means we're going to be having the full Grand Cathay force attacking these 3 units in the middle. Make that 4 units, actually. And the remainder of the force is not going to be impacting or compromising the build. So you're going to be having Iron Hill Gunners, you know, focus firing these units alongside the Grand Cannons. Saber Tusks charge through. They should be able to hit up against the Grand Cannons quite nicely here. And then coming in is going to be the Hunter. He's going to be you know, devastating for sure. Dual weapons move in here up against the Peasant Long Spearmen, and we are going to be having Ogre Balls fighting up against the Jade Warriors. They have mass weapon strength, 90 weapon strength per model for 24 models. Is certainly going to rack up regardless of how much armor you've got. They're certainly going to be getting those big clubs around the side here of the Jade Warriors. In the middle we have Noblars. They're going to be certainly losing here up against Jade Warriors. They really do not have the stats or the armor piercing to hold here up against that elite force. Ogre Balls, dual weapons here, are going to be probably getting pushed by the Celestial Dragon Guard. They'll be filling in gaps here in the front, holding back as like a second line of infantry, just to give them some more time so the cannons can fire. But in the back, you have the Gorgeous ready to go. Very, very good patience here coming from Matthew. In the middle, we are going to be actually having the Storm of Shadows activated on the Hunter, slowing it down by 45% as we get the Terracotta Sentinel in and fighting. These bad boys will fight to the very, very end. But I don't think there's going to be any sort of particular bonus here for either of them. But we do have an unbreakable stat here for the Sentinel. So, it could be quite interesting. It's going to be 480 weapons range going up against 600. So, yes, not too good there. So, we are going to get the Great Maw spell here down up against the Jade Warriors. It's going to break quite a few units here in the middle. Very, very nice spell indeed. And they're just going to be wrapped around a cheap unit of Noblar Trappers. So, actually, you're going to get just some exponential value here up against one cheap unit of Chaff. Iron Fists move through. Those shields really going to be quite handy here up against the Iron Hill Gunners. And look at that, the Great Slaughtermaster is really suffering here in the middle. Iron Hill Gunners now going to be getting compromised. Grand Cannon crews are going to be breaking, but we do have a summon here. We are going to be getting the Ancestral Warriors, the Stormy ones of old, going to charge forward here. And look at the crackle and lightning coming off of these legends here as they fight in the pocket up against Saber Tusks, Gorges, you name it, all the powerful units here from the Ogre Kingdom is going to be in the middle, getting taken down here by the almighty legends. Now we do have the Slaughtermaster in the pocket, and he's really suffering, getting pinned in by Peasant Long Spearmen, getting charged here by the Ancestral Warriors. Now we do maybe have a spell coming from him, a good air effect damage spell that could really delete the Ancestral Warriors. Of course it will produce a lot of magic damage, there's not too much HP here for these kind of units. Now, Iron Fist, they're going to be charging off here up against the Jade Warriors, making sure they get off the edge of the map. We do have some Celestial Dragon Guard that really need to get involved. These bad boys are extremely expensive. In the back here, we have some Peasant Long Spearmen, and this has been a very good breakdown here from Matt. He's really ripped apart the Grand Cathay force and done a superb performance so far. In the later stage, though, we really need to isolate these Iron Hill Gunners, take down with the correct units. What is this? Did I miss something? Is there an artillery piece somewhere here in the back that I missed? What was that got fired down? I don't know what that was. I will have to see what that was. Did I miss something? Maybe I missed something. Gorgeous 2 models left here up against the Celestial Dragon Guard. They should have very high melee defense, actually. Yeah, 52 there with the Harmony of Yang. Going to be getting those nice increases there. 52 melee defense is super high as well. Considering they also have 95 armor, they're just going to resist so much damage. In the pocket, though, Iron Fist backed up by Noblar Trap. It's just a mass pocket here. This is where you can kind of find yourself in the end of stage. You need to get a couple of these units out and around and start helping deal with and, you know, compromising and dealing with all of these forces. You know, you need to be getting in alongside the Peasant Long Spearman and, you know, just supplementing and fighting with the Hunter here, because you are going to have the Lord Choice plus the Sentinel here fighting up against your Hunter on his own. I think the Lord Choice must have... Oh, no, he's not gone down yet. He's still going to be ready to go here. Look at the weird waddle he's got. I absolutely love the weird waddle. But we are going to have some Peasant Long Spearmen. They need to stay alongside the Sentinel. This is going to be a Great War spell, which is absolutely fantastic. One of my favourites. Look at that. What a design. I love it. But that's going to absolutely delete the Dragon Guard. Noblers have been terrified here by the Sentinel. It's going to be the Lord Choice here fighting up against the cumbersome Sentinel. But we are going to be... Are we slowly healing here? No, not really, not particularly. But if you do attack him and don't successfully hit him, he's actually just going to be healing. He doesn't actually have to be fighting you. If you're shooting him or you're going to be trying to attack him, he will actually heal. So you've got to be making sure here that you're actually going to be successfully doing good damage over time. A couple of units in the back here that really need to be you know, getting involved with a little bit more. What are we chasing off here in the back? We have Iron Fist that could be chasing off the Iron-Held Gunners. We have some Ogre Balls over there on the left-hand side, and a nice pocket in the back here with only some Jade Warriors left. You could probably write these off with the charge of the Saber Tusks. Saber Tusks might clear up the Celestial Dragon Guard, though. We certainly want to start getting these units into the front line here, supplementing all your heroes and big single entity monsters. So otherwise in the pocket here, they're going to be terrifying Noblar Trappers. Ogre Balls aren't looking particularly healthy either, and they can be terror routed. And this big bad boy certainly will. Now, he's going to have 100 armor, and of course he is unbreakable, so he's going to be very tanky, lots of health, and seriously hard to take down. One of the biggest struggles for new players is single entity monsters and how to deal with them. They are a big nuisance for sure. Now, in the pocket, the dual weapons down to 8 models. They're dropping rapidly here in the pocket. And we have the Lord of Yin, who's pretty much not going to have any damage spells left. I actually do like Yin magic here because we do have the double Ancestral Warrior summon, but outside of that, there's really not too much utilization they can use here. A couple of slows here and there, but there's really not too much else to throw on the battlefield. Iron Fist charge in, do a little bit of damage here against the Lord's Choice. He's going to get in the back and maybe compromise the Hunter, but big javelins. Looks like one got yeeted into a Celestial Dragon Guard, and you know, he certainly bit the dust there pretty quickly. In the middle of the Sentinel, though, is just going to be... Oh, I love that animation where he's just swooshing the blades around, just carving through mass infantry. The Noblar Trappers really just do not stand a chance. But he's going to be down to 7,300 HP. The Lord Choice here is going to be at 4,700. And I believe that's going to be all that's left here on the battlefield. We do see some Celestial Dragon Guard, 2 units that are broken, a unit of Jade Warriors here on the flank as well. And, you know, nothing to save them here. No mobility really coming from the side of Grand Cathay. You know, something that can do quite nicely at times are going to be units like the Jade Lancers can be quite nice. You know, very, very good heavily armoured roadblocks that have some decent mobility. You know, they can certainly challenge up against Saber Tusk packs, and they can do, you know, certainly quite nicely in, you know, in those areas. Mr. Wizard, how are we doing? We're going to have Cummings, well done my friend, and CJ DJ, how are we doing? I forgot my name, well played. R.I.P. Cathay, I know. R.I.P. I don't really know yet. They are coming back into it. Balance of Power is against them, but we have the mobility. The Lord of Yin is, you can see it's going to be breaking some Iron Fist. It can come around the corner here and then break another unit of the dual weapons. And if we continuously do this, you know, you could rattle quite a bit. I mean, there's probably no way we come back into it just because the Lord Choice is, you know, rather tanky and healthy. But if we got the Sentinel to kill off the Slaughter Master, there's no reason you couldn't come back into this. Saber Tusks, though, yeah, they're going to be using their mass to capture here up against the Lord Choice, and in comes the big Slaughter Master. He's going to be just slashing and dashing on the Lord of Yin. No healing here, of course, for Grand Cathay, so it's looking pretty gnarly, unfortunately. But the Storm of the Dragons is going to be slowing down the Slaughter Master. Do we have anything here to support? We really need to keep the Sentinel nice and close by. Otherwise, we're really going to be suffering the Lord Choice here. The Slaughtermaster is going down to 2,700 HP. He's going to get away. We are trying to get there with the Sentinel. He's back up to 54 speed now, so the Sentinel is going to suffer, but he really wants to get in the pocket, you know, disrupt the Lord. Look at that. Disrupting all the forces in the pocket. If we can get the Lord Choice away, there's no reason he can't get up and around and start breaking some of these units. If we start breaking some of these, you know, maybe, just maybe, because we've got the Terror on our side. We do have that. There's a lot of these forces here from Matthew that are, you know, sort of out of the way, not really getting involved. So we break some here. So that's 2 going to be broken in the middle of the Noblars. In the back here, we do actually see still the Saber Tusks. They can be broken. They can also rampage. You've got to be careful there as well. But they're going to be chasing. What is this going to be? It's a very interesting... looks like we are going to go for the spell here from Matthew. Didn't really see too much damage there from that on the Terracotta. But it did a lot of damage up against the Saber Tusks, and then they got terrified for it. So that's a bit unfortunate. Rear charge here. Look at the bound. Boom. Right into the backside of the Sentinel. He's going to get hit pretty hard. The Lord Choice does dive in. He is going to be making them waver here with the Ogre Balls. A couple of big hits here will, you know, certainly go a long way. Going to be down to 885. Looks like not too many other successful hits here coming from the Lord Choice. He's actually going to get battered. And oh my god, no successful hits. That breaks, and that's going to be GG's. That's army losses. Oh my god, how unfortunate is that? What you got to do there is probably get in with a swing and then try and see if you can get out again. But that was really unfortunate. GG's. Hey, I'm doing well, thanks, man. How are you, Matthew? How are you? Hope you're doing very well. By the way, Logic, you haven't given me a response yet. Yes, I was just checking it over, CJ. I'll be getting back to you for sure. I can't remember the last time I saw Cathay Dragon. Are they bad now? No, they've not really changed. They've not really changed. But the Lord of Yin and Yang certainly rather cost efficient. So you certainly see a lot of those in and around as well. Battle C, hey, how we doing, my friend? Welcome. I didn't see you there. How we doing? How we doing? How's your day been? Hope you're doing well. And for those that don't know Battle C, you do need to go check this legend out. He does a lot of fantastic streams here on Twitch. Let me find that for you. Battle C. Fantastic content creator here with all of us. There we go. Let me chuck that in there. Paste. Yes, GG's indeed. GG's indeed. Yeah, very, very good game. So let's put the scoreboard up. Yes, that was from the last tournament. So we're going to be having here Midnight at the top. Midnight. Let's make that a little bit smaller, actually. And Midnight, yeah, so we'll put the 1 there for Matthew. Fantastic. All right. So let's have a look here. So we're going to have 533 there for the Lord of Yin. I didn't really like the Miao Ying alongside the Sentinels. I think healing there for the big bad boys is certainly very, very good. You can certainly get exponential value from them because they are unbreakable. So, you know, it really can go quite a long way. But 990 there for him. 500 and 565 there for the Celestial Dragon Guard. With 655 there for the Grand Cannon. 650 there for the second unit. With the Jade Warriors coming in at 190, 30 and 160. Iron Hell Gunners at 330, 130 and 600. 300, 333, 28 with 416 and 1,000 there for the Peasant Long Spearman. Now, if I had to make a couple of changes here to the build, no problem at all, dude. No problem at all. How's you? I'm very good, thank you. Very good. Suffering because of the English weather. I have hay fever that I developed probably over the last 6 years, actually. I haven't always had hay fever, but when I moved to London, I grabbed it in just the worst way possible. And I've been suffering ever since. So now we're coming into, you know, getting into that brighter weather, you know, the flowers are coming out and stuff. I'm just suffering. I'm just suffering. But anyway, so back to this. So yeah, one way that, you know, maybe could have been some changes, maybe changing out some of the Jade Warriors for Jade Warrior Halberds. I think Celestial Dragon Guard, you probably put these 5 into probably 5 units of the Jade Warrior Halberds if you can. And then, do you need 2 cannons? Iron-held gunners are good, but you could actually just go cheap peasant archers, potentially. Because you could just take down most of the roster. Most of the roster's only got 30 or 40 armor. So you can actually do some pretty good job there with cheap peasant archers that, you know, are cheaper now. And you can put the remainder of that money, you know, maybe into upgrading your lord choice, or maybe into another sentinel by dropping a cannon. You know, if you brought, well, they 400 each, yes, you can save 100. That's 300 saved there. You probably save a little bit if you dropped your Celestial Dragon Guard. Maybe 5 a bit mixture. But yeah, I'd probably go a little bit wider with more anti-large, I think. I think the regular Jade Warriors, like Jade Warrior Halberds, will still beat back Noblar Trappers for sure. And Noblar Trappers, they'll have such high melee defense and armor, there's probably nothing they can do about it anyway. I thought maybe I'd scrap it in the end, but that was the Lord was, nope, I'm out of here. Yeah. yeah. I'm the same, never used to have it heavier, but now I do. Did you move Battersea? So here's the thing for me, right? When I first came to London for uni, I moved to London and I was totally fine. I was like, awesome. I was like, wicked, amazing. I then went back home and then I suffered like I've never suffered. I got home and I was teary, sneezy. Oh my God, man, it was terrible all the time. It was awful, bro. But yeah. I hear what you're saying. I think London's worse as well, like with pollution and stuff like that. I don't think it helps at all. Matthew is also very good. I find that Cathay. Yeah, 100%. Both players play very well there. It's a very, very good game, actually, I must say. Yeah, it's a very, very strong build. I was just thinking, you know, what are ways that maybe you could have made that, you know, a little bit more optimal against the Ogre Kingdoms. And that's just the way that I can think about it, really. Just, you know, maybe a couple more of the Jade Warrior Halberds alongside some Peasant Longspearmen. You know, 5 apiece there each would be quite nice. Other ways you could have gone around it. The problem is, in that kind of matchup, is most of the damage spells coming out of Grand Cathay really struggled to deal with Ogre Kingdoms with their large unit size. So, yeah, and for the majority, most of them have got rather large hit point pools. So things like the elite spells of you need probably debuff spells like Enfeebling Foe and stuff like that, because most damage spells are going to be really rough to kind of get that. Maybe Foreign Transportation could be the one, but otherwise I think healing there for the Terracotta Sentinel is probably a little bit better. But it's it's hard to say. It's hard to say. All right, just waiting for the game change. So the next map is going to be. I wrote these down. Give me a second. Next map here is going to be on the Nurgle Wastelands. And then the third map is going to be on the Vampire Forests. Alright, we're in. There we go. Are you allowed cannons in your rules for Cathay? Yes, you are. Yeah, so here's the rule set for land battles. I got your message, Battersea, as well. I will be doing an open domination tournament. So this one here is specifically for Shortbeards. It's like for my new players. I did consider inviting you to it, but I was like, maybe you've had more. I think you've got quite a wealth of experience in Warhammer, so I thought maybe it wouldn't be fair. But I am going to be doing a open Warhammer domination tournament probably this week coming. So that should be pretty fun. Yeah, so we use these rules here for land battles. It's what we call the fruit rules. So you can just click on that and it'll open up a little document there for you, and you'll be able to go through and see what you want. So if you go down to Grand Cathay, in the current meta, you can use 4 cannons. You can use 4 cannons of any one type. I don't think there's actually a max on the amount of cannons you can use. So I think you could take, for example, 3 fire-rain rockets and then 4 cannons. I think in theory you could do that. Which is hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. Like, you could legitimately take 7 cannons. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it in any way, shape, or form, but you certainly can do it. How did uni go for you? Yeah, it went well for me, man. Yeah. I did my undergrad, and then at the same uni, I did my first masters, and then I'm now doing my second masters. So yeah, becoming a bit of a I've got a bit of a I guess a bit of a trimester of degrees that kind of like benefit each other, which is quite nice. I feel like on Battle for it's amazing on domination, as you can shoot your opponent literally instantly. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Battle for Itza it's kind of a cool map, man. I really like Battle for Itza. It's certainly one of those kind of flat open maps that you can really kind of play any type of style that you really like. There's no choke points, which is what I think it's probably like a fan favorite. I think. Oh, okay, this is an interesting one. It looks like we're gonna be having Nurgle against Grand Cathay. Now, traditionally, heavy artillery range factions aren't very good. Nurgle aren't very good against them. Nurgle's going to probably have to be a big rush here, I think. But what's your favourite faction at the moment? And you as well, back to say, what have you been enjoying the most on your domination games? What have you been getting involved in? It catches so many people off. Yeah, 100%, bro. 100%. And the way Grand Cathay plays is quite a methodical. You've got to be very methodical with the Grand Cathay faction. It is very much do the damage, take a little bit of map control. Do some more damage, take a little bit of map control. And you just got to notice those key moments when you can just take a bit of map control and you can force your opponent back. And I see normally one of two things with like factions like Grand Cathay, where I see a lot of people, when they're on the back foot, they just bring in more range. Or they get a lot of damage, and then they just hold like a land battle in domination, where it's quite hard there. Yes, more Cathay, I love it. And Longmar riders to cover them plus buff. Yeah, Longmars are really cool. You can also go with a quite common strategy is going like one balloon in the sky. So you might go like a sky junk, and then you go triple Longmars. And there are just some factions that can't deal with that, for sure. I have no idea how to play it in land battle. Yeah, they're very, very different game modes, bro. I mean, I appreciate you playing today. But no, I appreciate you playing. But that's the whole point, like, for the short bid league, right? And the short bid tournaments. For the new players out there that haven't experienced this is your time to experience it. This is your time to get in, get some games, play up against other short bids. And, of course, people are going to make mistakes. And things. One thing I would recommend is that Grand Cathay is probably going to go pretty wide. There's going to be range tools to deal with you in the shape of cannons. We're going to be having probably crossbows in there. So having a good wide faction as well to deal with that pool is probably going to be quite beneficial. You're certainly going to be wanting some units at the front that can tank. And then some other units that are going to have mobility. They can get in and around the sides, compromise most of those key areas of the build, and then slowly start stripping that apart. That would be my recommendation. Now, what tools you use, how you use them, is entirely up to you. BRB, my girlfriend needs me. No problem, bro. I understand. No problem. Sheesh, lucky. Yeah, that's a flex in here. That's a flex in here, Battlesea. That's a flex. Oh, right. So just waiting for this to get underway. When you gents are ready, do feel free to ready up. And we'll be getting ready to kick this off. So if we break down in general, if we talk about the build itself, so we've got a Cathay. They've got pretty much tools to deal with anything large and in charge. They've got obviously got good artillery pieces, good range tools. One thing they really struggle to deal with mass infantry. Heavily armoured infantry is not too much of a problem. You do have armoured tools. You do have cheap iron-held gunners. You also have just other tools in general. You have magic, you have dragons, these kind of things. So I think super wide, cheap infantry going and compromising the front line with cheap wide flanking forces like Furies and Tojitsu and all these kind of things. I think, you know, sort of the way you want to go. A cultist as well with the summon is always very, very prudent for sure. Plus healing on it on top of a horse with a bit of mobility. One unit there can certainly compromise a unit of range. So this is exactly what I expected from the Grand Cathay force. And you see double Long Mars in the sky. Normally, if you're going heavy in the sky, you normally fully invest. But it looks like here we're just going to be going for the double. Plus we're going to have a Lord of Yang. So I'm probably expecting a Dragon's Breath. And then maybe a Jade Shield would be what I imagine. Double Grand Cannons, yeah, pretty common there. We are going to be having 4 of the crossbows. I believe these are just going to be the regular ones. Can't see, the game's way too laggy. Yeah, I've missed that. These are going to be 4 of those, and then we're going to have some sword and shield backed up by other cheap infantry. Aldelmo, how are we doing, my friends? Welcome, welcome. I wish Cathay had dragon units like High Elves. They do, they do. One man from the High Elves stole all the dragons, my friend. You know exactly who that man is. He's a man of Calador. So, Great Long Mars in the sky. We are going to have front line here of 5 units of the Peasant Long Spearmen. And then we're going to have 5 of the Jade Warriors. So, going, yeah, pretty cheap and cheerful. And then we're going to pretty much rely on the DPS coming from the quadruple Jade Warriors with the crossbows. So, chief front line here of the Plague Bearers of Nurgle. Really like this here. This is certainly the way I would go. We'd also then have the Forsaken in the front. We're going to have, yeah, a bunch of these bad boys getting in and certainly ripping to shreds up against that infantry. We are going to have some few. Look at this disgusting mess we have here in the back. Absolutely fantastic. Now, we are going to have some Furies in the sky, one here either side, flying high and proud. We are going to be having the Cultist, which is, you know, pretty strong there. And then some more Forsaken in the front. We are going to have, oh, on a Palanquin! Oh, my baby boy, look at you. You're literally going to be rolling dirty on that thing. Look at that. Look at the little toads underneath. Look at the little Nurglings ready to go. It's Nurglings, and then underneath there's more Nurglings. Oh, man, I love the design. For some of this game, there is so much love and attention. It's fantastic. Okay, so for the Palanquin leading Nurglecaster, we are going to be having the Children of Nurgle, the Arcane Conduit, as well as the Miasma of Pestilence, the Stream of Corruption, and then the Locus of Fecundity. So going here for really cheap spells, looking to proc and activate the Children of Nurgle as much as possible. In the front, we are going to be having Nurglings, just mass Nurglings here in the front, ready to run Bailey. And you know, they're going to be compromising every single orifice that Grand Cathay has to expose. We are going to have the Cultists in the front. Now, we can't have double... we do have double summons. Yeah, you're not allowed to do that, I'm afraid. Let me very quickly message Midnight. Bum, 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 bum. Mr. Midnight Sun. Oh, if I could spell your name, that'd be fantastic. You can't use double cultist summons. Just so you know. Yeah, double cultist summons were banned in the most recent update of the fruit rules. So, nice box here. The only problem with this box, yeah, very hard. He's also got to be careful here. There is a rock that is actually, you're not allowed to line up against that, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm gonna. That's a tough one. Yeah, I'm not happy about that either. Wait, you can't. Yes, in the fruit rules. Yeah, no problem, Midnight. No problem. You can't. I'll tell you what. As this is a okay. I'll tell Matt as well if Matt's on the stream. Just change that cultist out for something else, bro. Don't worry about it. Just change it out for something else. I'll DM Matt as well just to tell him that he can't line up next to Skull. Just because otherwise it's kind of like protecting one flank and it's, yeah, it's a little bit much. Yeah, so if I'd say Midnight, just change, yeah, that's what, yeah, it can be a little bit annoying. It can be a little bit annoying sometimes with all the rule changes happening quite a bit. So I'd say for you, just take out a cultist, and I would say just wallop in probably. My recommendation would be some more infantry, I would say, or maybe some more furies. So we can see here, and of course, I'm going to be exposing the build a little bit. I'm not going to let them change it, so I'm just going to talk about the build. By the way, if you are enjoying today, do feel free to leave a like on the stream. Really does help quite a bit. So if you do, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, you can see we've got a couple of chevrons. So that's 96 invested here. That's quite a substantial amount here coming from each one. You can certainly rack up some more infantry or try and bring in an extra fury. I think that's certainly more prudent here to be investing in, maybe just an extra unit. I never really see chevrons being that useful compared to having an extra unit if you can possibly take one. So you can see here that's going to be 400 gold cost. That already covers an extra Nurgling if you wanted to take one. And plus the extra 28 here, you're probably getting pretty close to getting an extra fury on the battlefield. You're probably not far off. You could probably look at the lord choice here and, potentially think, what element here can maybe I lose. Of course, the Palanquin does give him 80 armor, so it does make him a little bit more tanky, but he's certainly going to be rather slow and a bit of a bigger target. So is it maybe worth dropping 200 gold and, maybe grabbing some more infantry, something like that? Maybe something that might be, in your consideration. I really think that although having chevrons is good, I think certainly if you can take more units, it's more viable for sure. So we're going to look at Matthew here. So he's gone for the non-shielded variant, but he's gone pretty wide forwards here, looking pretty good. Very cheap there on the caster. I quite like that. That's an interesting one. We're not going to be going for this. And I think this is always very strong here for the Lord choice. More tank, more health, because of course you can see here, without this, you've only got this amount of armor. You're losing 80 armor for not being on this, but of course that there is pretty much an extra unit of the Jade Warriors. You can see where you really have to think and consider every sort of element of your build and how you want to represent it. Yeah, very, very interesting. No Jade Amulet either, but of course we're not going for big spells. So we went for Dragon's Breath. Oh, and we went for the Wall of Wind and Fire. Very interesting. Wall of Wind and Fire actually is quite good up against Nurgle. The other reason being is that they don't have much armor. Yeah, you can bring cultists without the summon. Yes, you can. Yeah, you can bring it without the summon. Yeah, 100%. You just can't repeat. So I'm just talking to Matthew about the rules. Sweet. Let me just double check this. When your unit's ready up, and then we'll. Yeah, done so, mate. Done so. Yeah, so essentially, if Matt can hear me, the reason why I've said... So he said... we can't see it right now in game, because when Matt's ready up. But the reason... There's a little rock, and I'll show you guys in a minute why you can't line up. Hey, dog, how you doing? How we doing? And the reason you can't line up next to that rock is because it interacts with the white line behind you within 100 meters. And for me, if you wanted to get round the back on the right-hand flank of Matt's force, he'd have to go through that gap, which means, the rules-wise, Matt can't come backwards. Because if Matt comes backwards, he then squeezes him in the land battles in a very, very tight space. Which means, for me, it's easier as a tournament host to say, don't line up next to the rock, because what happens is if he comes back, then Matt's broken the rules. because otherwise he's forcing that right hand flank to really go through that small gap. So when we load in, there's the little rock here in the red, I think it is. There's the little rock here on my screen. You can see. I'll explain in a minute. But Dunk, how are we doing, my friend? How are we doing? Are we doing very well today? Oh, little neck crack in there. I needed that. Alrighty. So when we hop in, we'll talk. And this is some of the reasons why a lot of people are like domination as well a little bit more sometimes. So there's a little rock here. We can see. I think this is the rock. Is this the rock? There is a rock here somewhere that we were discussing. I think this is the rock. Yes. So there's a little rock here, so we can see. Maybe it's not as close as I thought it was. It's not as close as I thought it was. Okay, maybe not then. Just as an example on the screen, there's a little rock here in the back. I thought this was the white line. I was very, very mistaken. So what can happen is, so let's say this was the white line, this little red line. Matt's force was kind of built up along here, which means if we wanted to attack the right-hand side, we'd have to come through this chokehold, which is what I was thinking. I don't know why I got that wrong, but because of this little chokehold saying this was the white line, Matt essentially can't come back, because otherwise any units that break in this area just immediately go off the edge of the map, and that's still probably going to be the case here. Yeah, so if you see what I mean, it really forces the Nurgle player that wants to surround the Cathay force to have to come round this structure. So if we are set up like so, which I'm okay for Matt to set up like so. So if we set up like so, it's really quite smart because it protects your left-hand flank. But if we come around the back here, it makes it quite difficult for the player to get really around the back. You certainly have to go on a longer play, and if you do break back here, you're almost guaranteed to go off. There's no way you don't go off because you're so close to the white line, considering how long it takes to come back. And then your only sides that are available are the right-hand side and the middle, but I'm fine for him to use this. That's only if the white line was here, right? Being that the white line is, this is probably what, 100 meters? Probably something like that, so that's probably fine. It's probably about 150 meters, so it's fine. I think that... Yeah. So, sorry, Matt, it was my fault. I thought this red line here was, I thought this red line was your white line. That's my bad. Yeah. It's my bad. I just didn't want you, sort of lining up like this. That was all, because I thought this was the white line. It was my mistake. Yeah, just so I explain to other people why we implement these rules for people that may be new here in the community. It's just so that people don't get don't get forced into these kind of nasty situations. But other than that, mate, yeah, it was fine. Yeah, your thing was fine. I just noticed something and I was like, oh cool, let me bring that up, but it was okay. Sweet. So looks like we're going to be ready here. This is going to be the same forces. I think we went for an extra unit of Furies here in the back, and I believe we bought an extra one of the Nurglings, which I think was quite smart there from Midnight. I think just going a little bit wider here, yeah, it's certainly going to be quite beneficial. And they'll fight quite nicely. Nurglings actually do quite well here. If they manage to get themselves up against the Peasant Long Spearmen, they'll do quite well, actually. Yeah, they don't have, of course, any armor, but they can fight. They can fight. They're not complete garbage, but they'll do the work. They'll do the work of the old gods. And Duke, my friend, what about you? Yeah, my friend, I'm doing very well. Thank you very much for asking. I'm doing very well, very well. Very happy today, but of course, I'm always happy, but hay fever's been kicking my ass, basically. It's coming to like sort of springtime here, and the flowers are blooming, and there's all this stuff floating about, and it's just it's killing me. The pollen and whatnot is absolutely ruining me. Absolutely ruining me. So Matthew is going to be taking a commanding lead here. It's going to be 1-0 to him, thanks to the Ogre Kingdoms play that we saw in the beginning. This Cathay force is looking pretty good. This is certainly an old strategy of mine that I've certainly played like in the past. And one of the weaknesses of this kind of build is it's not layered. And a layered force, you'd certainly see... So we've got infantry here, you'd see sort of units out here as well, where you'd see a multitude of units that you have to get through. You have to get through these lines to sort of get into the back. This kind of force, if you break any single side, so you can see, let's say we target these Peasant Long Spearmen. If I break them, I'm then immediately into the juicy pocket, where you've got 4 Jade Warrior crossbows, plus your double grand cannons, and then also your footcaster. So once you've broken the pocket, you're in. But it really depends how long this holds. But we're going to be shooting into the frontier up against the plague bearer units. They're going to be a little bit faster, you know, 23 up to 27 speed, and then also a cost reduction down from 750 down to 700. So they're going to be cheaper, a little bit faster, which means they will get to the battle line just that little bit quicker. So Great Longmire is going to charge out. Now, is this good? Is this bad? I'm going to say it's probably not good here for the Grand Cathay player, because these are going to be the mobile units that can protect the force here of the back pocket. Now, they can come out now, but they will need to come back later to help fight and, you know, kind of keep off these units. If they get distracted by Furies, it can certainly become, you know, a bit of an issue in the later stage. Who's watching and not liking? I appreciate that, Cummings, but that's okay. People can watch and not like it. Of course, if you don't like the content, do feel free to leave a dislike. That's also fine as well. You know, it's good for me to know that you don't like it. And, you know, I know a lot of people have not been enjoying Warhammer recently, and that's okay too. That's okay too. Of course, I'd like you to like Warhammer, at least as much as I do, but, you know, if you don't, that's okay. In the middle here, you can see the Herald of Nurgle. He's going to be quite a big target here, which is one of the problems I saw for the Herald of Nurgle. Yeah, he's going to be looking in a bit of a state here on his chair. He's quite large, and that's why sometimes having him on the drone or even just on foot can be, you know, a little bit more advantageous. But you can see the cannons. They're in the front. They're in and amongst the Peasant Long Spearmen. And we're going to be firing down the lines, but we certainly want to get some of these units forward. So we can see actually trying to get round in through this gap is going to be a bit of a problem. So you can see if this... Oh, actually, there's going to be a unit of... Oh, it's just Great Longmires over there. Okay. So Great Longmires is going to be fighting up against Furies, Forsaken. Forsaken actually do a bit of a number. You've got to be careful there. Furies will not beat the Longmires. It's actually better to get the Furies in and amongst the pocket. But we are going to get a summon here in the middle. This is going to be the Plague Bearers in the pocket. That's going to be compromising the Grand Cannon in the back. And this is the problem with such a build. It's very easy to cast in. And you see this little guy? He can wither his way through that little gap there. That little gap is, you know, still very well controlled and small. But a little guy like the cultist here, he can get in, he can compromise. And there we go. Good work here from the Furies. They do disengage. One of them distracting the Great Longmires. Very strong. And the Furies can get in and compromise all of the Jade Warriors. You can see just units pouring in, and now it's just a mock in the middle here. Front line is going to be fighting. The middle pocket has been compromised. Grand cannons are everywhere. Nothing's firing anymore. This can be the problem with such a build like this. Now, can it work? Absolutely. I've seen builds like this work many, many times, but you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful. Yeah, especially up against Grand Cathay, the Boil Blight, I think it's called. The big pussy spell you can get here for Nurgle can be quite good up against factions like this, especially against compact targets of the Jade Warrior crossbows. So my Aftermath Pestilence has been activated here, negative melee attack for the Jade Warrior crossbow. That's quite interesting. We are going to get the Stream of Corruption down the line. That does a lot of damage there. Very strong stuff. Locus of Fecundity now in the pocket could be quite nice, getting a bit of healing here going around. Dragon's Breath down the line, the Wall of Wind and Fire here, really trucking through the Plague Bearers, but they're really tanky meat sacks. These zombies will hold very good duration. Now, a bit of a problem here, we can see 3 or 4 units kind of collecting in a similar space, so they can get all compromised and hit here by the Great Longmires. We certainly want to get some up and round and compromising the Jade Warriors here on the top. Allowing these to shoot is you know, certainly going to be devastating. So here you see we have Peasant Long Spearmen kind of breaking in the middle. That's where we need to get our Plague Bearers charging forward. Get the Lord Choice up here into this one. Get the Plague Bearers compromising these crossbows. And then you can see a lot of the front line that are just Spearmen are going to be falling due to the just mass Plague Bearers. In the middle is going to be another nice Stream of Corruption here just down the line, doing some good damage here against the majority of the infantry. Lord Choice is in here on his Palanquin, and he's just going to be charging through that pretty decent mass, and he'll delete and certainly prevent shooting the crossbows here in the middle. Grand Cannon's going to be firing again. They're going to be shooting here into the Forsaken. And in the middle here we have Forsaken. Where's the actual unit? I thought that's actually going to be here. The Forsaken's actually not going to be where the banner is, but they're going to be fighting here up against the Peasant Long Spearmen. They're actually holding a considerable amount of time. In the middle, I didn't see what that was. That's going to be the Miasma of Pestilence, giving them negative melee attack as we fight here for the Lord Choice. Locus of Fecundity being activated for healing and vigor procs. And then we are going to have a Dragon's Breath down the line here of a multitude of models. So for the most part, it looks like it is going to be taking the lead here of Grand Cathay. It's looking a little bit unfortunate here. We certainly had a good surround, but we had many units just kind of hitting the front and not really getting around the back side of the build here, and certainly compromising in different areas. But we do see in the back here, we have the cultist going quite strong. He needs to come in the back here and shut down these crossbows. They are a priority. They must be shut down. They're going to be in the back, free ball to fire here, and they're just going to be shooting in the front, doing lots and lots of good work. The Lord Joyce is compromising one. The Grand Cannon here still shooting. Jade Warriors in the front are going to be in combat. I think the same could be said here for these Jade Warriors as well. They're going to be fighting in melee. Clan's going to be shooting and missing. Not a very good here on top of the ridge for them. I don't really know what else we have here in the way of summons to kind of compromise. But there we go. We do actually have the Herald of Nurgle in the back. He's going to be compromising the left-hand side, but the right-hand side is going to get away with it. Maybe getting a spell on the side of the Miasma Pestilence might be quite nice. Also, procced a bit of healing here for the Nurgle faction. But it looks like, for the most part, they are going to be pushing back the forces of Nurgle. It's a pretty tough match for them, I must say. It's a pretty tough match, but good Miasma Pestilence down the line. There's going to be some healing here. The Lord Choice is going to be fighting. Still some very good weapon strength. 496 weapon strength is massive on foot. That's pretty strong indeed. I like here the Grand Cannon. Still going to be firing the Wall of Wind and Fire here down the line of the Forsaken and Co. And I believe that's going to be army losses. Yeah, GG's well played. GG's well played. Very, very strong performance here from Matthew, who is, yeah, I would predominantly say playing for the majority land battles. And at Midnight is very much a domination player. But yeah, thank you very much for coming on, my friend, and certainly giving it a good go. I really appreciate you coming on and doing a stellar performance for sure. A stellar performance for sure. Indeed, Cummings. Yeah, 100%. The Cathay faction was certainly very soft towards magic damage. You know, the Boil Blight or maybe Stream of Corruption certainly could have taken a lot of damage there for sure. One or two Boil Blights here and there really would have disrupted all of those crossbow forces, yeah, because they were kind of in that box formation, so one Boil Blight would have just exploded and they would have been disrupted, stopped shooting, taking quite a bit of damage as well. So, yeah, very, very strong, very good performance. You can see Grand Cathay just super wide, and this is kind of where I think Midnight could have taken a similar style build to this towards maybe the Ogre Kingdoms game. A little bit wider here. Maybe you don't need as many Jade Warrior crossbows. You certainly don't need the Great Long Mars. You could probably drop the Great Long Mars, and that's going to be 3,000 gold left to go there. So it would have cost 200 per model there for the Jade Warriors. So take away 1,000. So you still got 2,000 extra gold if you make these all halberds. So you still got lots of funds there to go with, and that 2,000 will buy you that Sentinel back. So you still got a lot of fighting force here, and this is something that pretty standard. This is a pretty standard build. This will take on. This is very good here up against Nurgle. If you add an halberd, you can use this with a Sentinel to take on Slanesh. You can use it to take on other factions like Ogre Kingdoms. I actually really think Grand Cathay is phenomenally powerful. Yeah, GG's well played. GG's well played, guys. Yeah, really good series. Was worried for Cathay there, but kept ranged assets really well. Yeah, kept very well. I got compromised a few times, 100%. I would say for Matthew, I would look into more layered builds. Looking at multiple layers at the front, and then having a couple of maybe more elite units in the back. Certainly if you've got your staggered infantry at the front where you've got lines, and then within those lines you can stagger your crossbows, because once they broke into the pocket, it was then kind of a free-for-all. You could then kind of get in and amongst the honey jar. You're in the honey pot, as I say. Yeah, you don't need Long Mars. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend Long Mars versus those, no. Yeah, so GG's well played. So we are going to have 1.4k for the Herald of Nurgle, 480 there for the Cultist. With I think the Forsaken are good, but they really get dumpstered. You may go, but they're 85 armor, and a lot of people kind of misrepresent crossbows. Crossbows have 6 armor piercing per missile, and if you go back to if we use Empire as an example for most people, if you take those archers against their crossbows, archers have 2 armor piercing per missile. Crossbows have 6 armor piercing per missile. So I think it's about 60 models. No, I think it's 90 models in crossbows. So 90 models times 6, that's going to be, what, 350? No, what the hell am I talking about? How have I lost this? 90, 180, 270, 360, 4, yeah. So you're talking like well over 500 armor piercing. That's going to be over 500 armor piercing damage per unit if all their missiles hit. So considerable damage on the Forsaken on the way in. You know, they don't have any shields, so they can't negate the majority of the missiles coming in. Yeah, it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. Plague Barons are really good meat sacks. They take a lot of damage. Having some Nurglings as well just to get around the pocket and certainly keep a couple of units busy is really important. Certainly keep some of that infantry busy. And actually just having some Nurglings, you know, kind of crawling their way into the pocket where they can certainly compromise a lot of... certainly a lot of the infantry in the middle there can be quite handy. Yeah, 540, man. Brain's dead today. Brain's dead today. But yeah, 540 armor piercing per unit. So for every single model kit from the Jade Warriors, you know, you're talking 2,000 AP damage. So that is guaranteed AP damage from all 4 units. And across the field, you know, you'll certainly do very good chip damage against the Forsaken. The rest of the base weapon damage will be negated by armor, but still, crossbows do provide a good amount of armor piercing. That's for sure. It might actually be more. I might actually have to have a look. It might be more. But their traditional standard is about 6 AP. Yeah, 6 AP, and then 18 base missile damage. So that'll have an equation for 85 armor. Yeah, I can't do the maths on my head, but it will be... Yeah, you're probably doing about 12, in total including armor piercing, probably about 12 damage per missile, probably something like that. Yeah, it'll be considerable. It will be considerable. So they'll actually do a lot more AP than you know, most people give a justification for. I think you wanted to wrap around the back with Nurglings. Yeah, I think so too. I think you certainly could have done some good work there for sure. Hey! Matthew, and Matthew. How are we all doing? So I think here, for the next one, let's have a little look. Let's have a little look in the book. We are going to have... Traitor GG wins, so it's going to be Traitor GG next. Let's get these guys ready to go. At Traitor GG and at Samarek, you are both up. So whilst waiting for these guys, I'll hop in and you know, kind of explain maybe what sort of build I would have been expecting. So we'll update the scoreboard. But yeah, GG's well played to both those players. It was really nice to have you guys on. Thank you very much for playing today. And we will be seeing Matthew in the final, which will be yeah, pretty good there. Shame we're not going to be seeing Midnight, the DVD legend, coming through, but that's okay. That's okay. So with Grand Cathay, yeah, you can see the kind of build here that you know I've previously. I'd probably drop the cavalry. I don't think the cavalry's all that worth it. But if you're going, let's see what we got here. So we had double grand cannons, didn't we, in that build? And then we had a sentinel, and then we can even get an extra halberd in there. So I think you can see we've got 5 lots of bonusless large infantry. You've got some cheap peasant archers in there. Yeah, it's certainly gone quite wide with the force. And here I went with the Yang magic. So I've brought Talons of the Night. Talons of the Night is not that useful, so you could certainly drop that, giving you know, maybe an extra 300 gold that you can certainly you know, put into whatever you want to put it into. Can't quite get 2 crossbows, but you could sort of like, you know, give yourself 3 crossbows if you really wanted to. Crossbows then can't be compromised by just any regular units from the Ogre Kingdom, so you could certainly see a build like this. Kind of whatever you want to be, really. Whatever you want to bring. If you want to bring an extra armor piercing, you could double eye hail gunner. And you still got some good anti-large infantry, double cannons, armor piercing, cheap range to deal with chaff. Could be quite nice. Hey, Power L is in. Nice. Right, we'll reset the lobby. Fandabby dozy. Yeah, so yeah, I was just double checking, but yeah, you can certainly get you know, 5 halberds, 5 peasant on the spearman, get a mixture of AP and all sorts of range in there. All right, so we get both of these gentlemen in. There we go. There's the code for you, gents. Yeah, so do feel free to vote on who you guys think is going to be, or who you're supporting today. Let me know who you're supporting. We are going to be having Samarek, who's going to be a bit of a newer player here to the scene, going up against Traitor GG, which came over from Human Boy, and I think he's had quite a bit more experience here in the scene. That's for sure. So we're going to be going again. So Kids of Troll Country, the Wastes of Nurgle, and then the Vampire Forests will be the semi-finals. And the finals will be Matthew up against the winner here, which will be pretty interesting too. And then that will round out Season 5 of Shortbeards. So for those that don't know what Shortbeards is, the Shortbeard League is, well, essentially a league for new players. So if you're new to multiplayer scene here for Total War Warhammer 3, Warhammer 2 or Warhammer 1, if you've not really played any at all, and you know, it's really quite intimidating to come on and play up against other players that have, you know, that vast experience. Come join these big tournaments with your Falcons and your Turins and the people like that, right? And, you know, other people like Antisti that I'm sure you know. And you know, this league here gives you the opportunity to play up against other new players like yourself, where you play against myself, other admins on the Discord, and then we put you in our system if you reach the requirements. So for example, if you beat myself or one of my other admins, we probably normally determine you to be too good to be in the league. If you beat us pretty consistently, we market you on a couple of values like build quality, macro, micro, game understanding. You know, are you taking the right interactions? Is the build looking good? When you're playing aggressively, how does it look? When you're kiting, how does it look? You know, we take a bunch of these equations in, and then we kind of analyze where you should be within the league, and then we try and promote you throughout the seasons till you get till you get to the very top. If you win the very top, you then leave Shortbeards and go join the wider community. Ah, that's you, Cameron. Okay, good to know. Good context for me. Well. Let's get it going. So, we're going to be on... Where is it? Kislev Troll Country. I'll give you a couple of minutes for you guys to put in your votes. Alright, let's just double check. Are you guys doing your factions? Or maybe that is your factions. Maybe it is going to be Zinch. Yeah, I need to figure out how to rename my Google name. Oh yeah, no problem, dude. No problem. Yeah, this is a fun matchup. Zinch against Ogre Kingdoms can be seriously fun. It really comes down to a layered build here from Samarek. How your blue and pink horrors, how are they filtering in, what sort of damage are they getting, and really what is... the Ogre Kingdom player taking, and I think there are a really good couple of answers for the Ogre Kingdoms in this matchup. Now, a lot of people will go Iron Fists with the shields. I don't think that's the answer. I really do not think that is the answer. I think there are other more... I think there are better ways to deal with Zinch in this particular matchup. I think actually going with Iron Guts are certainly very powerful. Iron Guts are very good. You know, they're large targets, they're heavily armoured, and they've got great armor piercing, so they can pretty much deal with anything that you bring to them. And 90 armor is quite a lot to deal with, so having a couple of these bad boys on the battlefield, they deal with Doom Knights, they deal with Chaos Knights, you know, they deal with big chickens. They do very, very well for sure. Iron Guts are incredibly good. I actually think Iron Fists are a bit of a letdown. Yeah, they get extra 10 armor, yes, they get the shields, and it's just not cost efficient enough for me, you see. So what I'll do, I'll click over here, and we'll be going through his build a little bit, but I just want to double check the price cost. So Iron Guts are 1,000, whilst the Iron Fist is 650. So there is a 350 differentiation there. We can see they have worse stats overall, less weapon strength, they don't have that much armor piercing, and they lose 50 armor. Plus they also lose HP. You know, so you're going to be gaining quite a bit here for your investment. You gain a substantial amount of armor, quite a bit of leadership, and yeah, just so many extra better stats that I think are very, very strong. And I think Iron Fists, if you consider the rest of the faction like Man-Eater, Iron Fists, like if we have the option between Man-Eaters and then Man-Eater, Iron Fists, I'm always taking Man-Eater, Iron Fists. Simply because that added armor is worth it for the 100 gold. You get extra melee defense, plus 8 melee defense for 100 gold investment, plus an extra armor and a bronze shield. Like, it is a no-brainer. It is a no-brainer for that reason. And it's the same reason for me here for the Ogre Ball Iron Fist up against the Iron Guts. The value is just exponential here for me. But it all depends. But it all depends. All depends on what you practice with. Having a few Gorgers to come round the sides to kill flames can be nice as well. Yes, indeed, indeed. I'd actually rather go Noblar Trappers, personally. I think Noblar Trappers still do the job. But yeah, for sure. I think they will shred them through very quickly, though, I must admit. But they are very expensive now for what they do, I must say. But I still think they're good. So I can totally agree with you there. So we'll go back down to 0 here, and we are going to be having on the right-hand side the Pale Ale. Pale Ale strikes again, going up against Traitor GG. Traitor GG. Oh, I spelled that wrong. God's sake, logic. Traitor GG. There we go. Alright, both are ready. Let's do this. Alright, so here we go. We'll end that there. And it looks like it's going to be a 60% up against 40%. It's only one vote in it. Only one vote in it. Very interesting. Right. I'm going to ask you guys a question. There we go. Right, a little question for you guys there. Just how much are you guys currently enjoying Warhammer 3? Are you like enjoying it quite a bit? Like, yeah, I'm loving it. Or you guys like, yeah, it's great, it's great. You know, having great fun with it, still enjoying it. It's not the best thing I've ever seen, but, you know, I'm still really liking it. Is it like, meh, I don't really care too much about it? Or is it, you know, you don't like it at all? You know, what are you guys really feeling about the Warhammer scene? It's a little bit laggy here. I actually don't think this is the right map, but either way, it's always good to mix and match. So we're going to be having Chaos Furies of Tzeentch, backed up here by Blue Horrors. Quite a few Blue Horrors here in the middle. Forsaken, which has certainly been nerfed here for the faction of Tzeentch. They did lose their 40% spell resistance, which I think was absurd anyway. But yeah, they've lost that. We are going to have Spawn of Tzeentch over here on the right-hand side. And then we are going to have a big chicken of metal. In the back, one of the Cultists of Tzeentch here for the summon, and then also the Power Stone. Power Stone for 100 gold is yeah, pretty powerful. You know, certainly brings some you know, great regeneration there for magic. And the Flamers with 340 armor piercing and warp flame damage, which is quite powerful. So Metal Caster here with the metal shifting, the portal glyph for the Chaos Fury summon, Searing Doom, Plague of Rust, and then also Final Transmutation with Arcane Conduit. It should be Greater Arcane Conduit now. Yeah, Greater Arcane Conduit, which is it's pretty strong. It gives spell mastery plus 10%. I don't know if that gives it like 10% more damage. Possibly. I don't actually know what spell mastery does. We'll come back to that. I've not seen that before. So full traitor, we're gonna have saber tusks in the back here, all in their nice long lines. Don't know why that is, but that seems to be the way that is. So long lines there in the back. In the middle, we are going to be having ogre balls, the dual weapons here for the anti-infantry. Ogre, the Man-Eater ogre pistols. Noblars in the front for the cheap cheerful chaff, and then a bunch of iron guts just ready to rip apart the majority of the force. So we are going to get the Slaughtermaster of Beasts. Maybe the Transformation of Gadon could be a potential one here. Transformation of Gadon is going to be the one here with the Flock of Doom. Then we're going to have extra ingredients, which is certainly very powerful here. Wild Heart, which is going to be proccing 80% power recharge rate for mana. The Blood Cleaver and Belly Slapper, so -8 melee attack there, which is constant.
Like them. It matters not. It all goes in the pot.
I think in general, for domination, it certainly was Ogre Kingdom favoured. Land battles, it's very, very tough to know. It's very, very tough to know. Okay, it seems like there's an overall rough opinion of towards the top there for are you enjoying multiplayer? That's quite interesting. So coming forward here with the Noblars, Iron Guts as well probably want to be leading the charge, taking the majority of the damage. Not too many not too many pink horrors, which is interesting. Blue horrors here, one at the front of the sort of triangle shape here. Furies in the back. Maybe could compromise a lot of the Saber Tusks, but only time will tell. Only time will tell. So Exalted Lord of Metal is just going to be sitting at the front. We do actually have the pistols ready to go. That is actually going to force forward Tzeentch a little bit into the kind of depth of the waters here. I don't really know if you want the Man-Eaters going into combat, but they can certainly shoot here up against the Exalted Lord of Metal. That probably wouldn't be a bad choice either. So it looks like in the back here we are going to be casting Final Transportation. That's going to be catching... it's actually going to be catching the Lord Choice, which is pretty decent. That'll do a lot of damage there on the Lord Choice. That is actually... that 10% is going to give a buff there to magic. Now, Final Transportation, 100%. For Samric to maybe learn a little bit, I definitely think it's worth overcasting. The cost efficiency is certainly better, and you're going to be seeing a little bit more bang for your buck there. Good Searing Doom on the pocket here against the Man-Eater Ogre pistols. Very, very good damage, catching a lot of the Noblars as well. In the back, Fury's just going to be waiting here a little bit. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But I can't talk to Matthew, so Scrag? Where's Scrag? I don't see Scrag. Oh, you thought of the voice line, right? Yeah. Yeah, I can't communicate here to Samric about the attacking rule. But also the Ogre Kingdoms falls under the attacking rule as well. So, yeah. I guess they are shooting, I think, here. They are actively firing, so it's okay. Yeah, the Tzeentch player does need to go forward and engage, but... actually, in actual fact, if they are engaging, in theory, they don't have to go forward, but it's of no advantage to them not to. So this is my ruling, and I think that's a really good point there from Matthew. If it really does affect the end game state of the game, so like if for example Tzeentch not attacking caused them to win, then I will give the win to the Ogre Kingdoms. So Blue Horns are going to fire in the front. This is where Iron Guts are so good. Look how little damage that is for so much blue fire damage. Look at the range coming. Look how much they absorb, and they're still incredibly healthy. Yeah, they're going to thump into the front line, but they've absorbed so much blue fire damage that will just shred Noblars and just shred the regular Ogre balls as they hit the front lines. They just don't have shields, and you don't want to pay for shields. Just bring Iron Guts, and they just bring, mass weapon strength as well and armor piercing. Don't know what this is going to be here. This is going to be Flock of Doom. Flock of Doom's actually certainly got more powerful for sure. Flock of Doom is certainly quite powerful. Now, Final Transportation, people have got to be careful of this. Final Transportation is a very good single entity destroyer. It's not very good up against infantry. So Warp Flame in the back here is going to be destroying a lot of the Iron Guts, and that there is very, very good stuff. But we are going to compromise in the back here with the Saber Tusks and certainly start shredding these apart. My game is really struggling to keep up with this. But in the middle here, we are going to get the Ferromanticore charging forward. We are going to get the Blue Flames, which is just going to delete the Ogre Kingdoms here in the pocket. I don't believe it does any damage up against Tzeentch, I'm pretty sure. But there we go, the Ogre Wall is certainly full. The Swarm do actually have 130 weapon strength, so they'll tear through pretty quickly. And we should be able to get in the back here and certainly compromise the Man-Eater Ogre pistols. Flock of Doom over here on the right-hand side, taking down the Blue Horrors. They'll do some pretty good damage overall. And then Searing Doom on the front here on the dual weapons. Forsaken going to be fighting. It looks like slightly taking the lead is going to be Tzeentch. In the middle here, though, we do actually have a Ferromanticore, and that's going to be attacking the Exalted Lord of Metal 445 weapon strength here, going to be just certainly slapping on the front door of the Exalted Lord. Also getting kind of charged down by the Saber Tusks. It's not looking great. It's not looking great. Rampaging, Saber Tusks, and now actually going to be rampaging the Ferret Manticore as well. That's not good for the Exalted Lord. If he wants to get away, he certainly can't now. In the back here, the Man-Eater Ogre Pistol is going to be getting away. Blue fire coming out of the Horrors here in the middle. They're going to be shooting up against the Iron Guts. Dual weapons in the back. They're going to be getting compromised here by the dual weapons. And yeah, they'll make mincemeat here of the Blue Flamers for sure. Oh my god, the noise. Yeah, this is not going particularly well. So Slaughtermaster is going to be struggling against the Blue Horrors. In the back here, we have the Exalted Lord of Metal. Colt is now going to be fighting up against the Noblars. Maybe see another summon here of the transformation of Gadon. Get another Manticore in the sky up against the Exalted Lord of Metal. And it's 30 seconds now to get your shield back rather than 15. So you certainly got to be more careful with your engagements. In the back, we are going to have the Man-Eaters. They're going to be shooting here up against the Exalted Lord, making sure he cannot get that regeneration there on his shield. He's going to be taking chip damage. And of course, he's not going to be the big chicken himself, so he doesn't have healing. Now, Iron Gut's going to get charged away. Some more going to come back into the battlefield here. The Ogre Balls will be charging into the front line. Forsaken going to do pretty well here. Forsaken can really sort of tear apart most of the Ogre front line. In the back, that is going to be Flock of Doom. That's going to be some pretty decent damage here on the majority of the Tzeentchian forces. Certainly surrounding the Lord Choice. The Beastcaster is also going to be using the extra ingredients. Which you can maintain that there by engaging in melee combat. Therefore, bringing the Blood Cleaver certainly has a quite nice partnership. Over on the flank, we do have the Blue Horrors with some ammunition left in the pocket. Not too much to write home about. But here, we're going to be charging the back up against the Blue Horrors, taking them down. The Cultists here will certainly get taken down by the Ogre Balls. The dual weapons will do a bunch of damage here if we're not careful. Man-Eaters have run out of ammunition. You can see, look at that, 142 armor-piercing weapon strength, missile strength there, sorry, is pretty good. But even then, when they're fighting melee combat, 110 with armor-piercing as well is certainly going to butcher a lot of the forces. That is actually going to be a final transportation here in the middle. No, it's a Flock of Doom. Oh, that is very lucky. Another final transportation here really could have butchered the Slaughtermaster, that's for sure. So in the back, we are going to be terrifying the Ogre Balls. A lot of them going to be suffering. Some ammo. So it looks like it's going to be one there per model for the Man-Eaters. And they could finish off the Exalted Chicken. The Chicken is going to be struggling. Balance of power pretty close here. In the middle, though, we are going to get Saber Tusks fighting up against the Cultists. Cultist is still going to be going. Still up there with that shield, which is, you know, quite impressive, I must say so. Maybe just being a small entity size can be quite difficult to get your melee attacks going. Lord Choice flies away. In the back here, we do have some Forsaken fighting, backed up by Blue Horrors. More Forsaken there on the left-hand side. 6 models could charge into battle, but I think they'll more than likely break before they reach it. Blue Horrors here, they're still going to be going quite strongly. You see the Man-Eaters, they really want to get as much chip damage as possible, because then when the Lord Choice comes in, we can hopefully try and tear out as much as possible. Good work there. The Ogre Ball's getting chased away by the Exalted Lord. The Cultists going to be chasing off the dual weapons. And in the middle here, the Forsaken have been broken down to just 5 models. They'll get cleared out pretty quickly. So the Blue Horrors are going to be the last unit of infantry. Yeah, they are going to be the last unit of infantry left on the battlefield here. Lord Choice there going to be chasing off some of the dual weapons. The hero's going to be trying to might suffer here against the Saber Tusks, but one nice charge there from the Cultists, you know, could finish. Yeah, they're going to immediately break. Yes, they charge into the broken unit of the Ogre Balls, and they're going to give each other negative leadership. So that's not looking too great there. Forsaken Shatter, Shatter here from the second unit of Forsaken. Blue Horrors have just been deleted. So we have quite a force here. A bit of healing coming out of the Slaughtermaster. Of course, even chasing off broken units will get in some healing, so that's going to be quite strong indeed. Noblars here, backed up by the pistols. A couple of the Iron Guts, not really too many. It's going to be 12 models there, down to 1,100 HP. They're literally clinging for dear life. It's going to be about 100 HP per model. What is this in the back here? That unit of Furies. Oh, that's going to be the summon. Ah, I think that was a waste of a summon. I think Samric needed to save that for the later stage. Samric really needed to have that summon, so you needed to hit the front of this army and then rear charge it with some Furies and try and see if you could break some units. Yeah. You made a very good point, Matthew. Yeah, you made a very good point. Yeah, so using that Fury Summon there, I think it really needed to be saved. For sure. I think you definitely need to save that. Forsaken there on the backside, still broken, and this is pretty much going to be it. So they're going to be charging across the cultist. The big blue boy does need to come across. That shield there is not going to be looking fantastic. That's going to be at 169 on the barrier. The cultist is rather healthy, but he will get butchered very quickly, so we've got to be careful. One final transportation here, though, would be devastating. It really would be devastating. One final transportation with a bit of a tower out could spell the end of the game. Could spell the end of the game. It really, really depends. Mantis power, though, is hugely in the favour of the Ogre Kingdoms. So it's pretty damn close. It is pretty damn close here. Oh, late game summon. The pink horrors in the back. Okay, so the cultist is going to charge in. Pink horrors are ready to go, and we could shoot into the front line and cause an absolute disruption here. Oh, I never even considered this. We are going to get a Searing Doom on the pocket here on the Lord Choice. Oh dear God, this has changed the game. If we had a Portal Glyph summon, that could be very good. Dismember has been used to slow down the Lord Choice. We do see the Ogre Balls, the Iron Guts come around the side. They're going to suffer. The Pink Horrors are not going to be good enough here to deal with the Iron Guts. They can certainly fire into the front line. They will do some damage. Just quite a bit of damage here, down to 1500. Plague of Rust is going to help. Maybe if that comes a little bit earlier, that might have been a bit better, but we do have a Fair Manticore in the backside. This has been an incredibly good game here between these two, for sure. But we can see the Iron Guts here down by negative 30 armor, bring them down to 57. I think the cultist may be helping out there just a little bit. Let's have a look here. So we are going to get the Portal Glyph summon as well here in the middle. The Lord Choice needs to get out, but the summons don't count as attacking, I don't think. But you can see the Manticore really suffering to try and get in here. The majority of them are going to be fighting in the back here up against the cultist. Flock of Doom has been activated. The Lord Choice gets away, but really doesn't want to fight the Manticore. If we can avoid the Manticore as long as possible... Oh, the Exalted gets hit. Negative 55. That's going to be army losses. GG's, and well played here to Traitor GG. What a game. Look at that. You can see here 12,900 damage dealt, and still we were clinging on. We were really clinging on there right at the end. Very, very good stuff. Very, very good stuff. So 913 there for the Slaughter Master with the Beast casting. 1.6k there for the Man-Eaters with a double bronze chevron coming at 2,100. Yeah, very strong. 480 as well as 170 for the Iron Guts with 630. We saw here the dual weapons coming at 380, 550, 190 and 430. Saber Tusks at 1.3 and 300 with 200 for the Ogre Balls, 113, 120 and 5 for the Noblars. Yeah, very, very good stuff. So the Metal Caster with 1.6k. We got 150 there for the Cultist with 190 and 477 there for the Spawn. 580 for the Forsaken with 500, 800 and 600. 170 there for the Flamers. Really got shut down quite nicely there. That's where the 1.3k come from the Sabertusk packs with 313 for the Furies. 520, 520, 480, 870 and 680 for the Blue Horrors, which are one of the most cost efficient units in the game. They are very, very strong. These Blue Horrors are very good. Yeah, GG's well played. Very, very strong game indeed. So the second game is going to be on the Nurgle Wastelands. There we go. Map set up. So that's going to be 1-0 there to the big boy. Traitor GG is going to be just scraping the victory there. That was a very, very good game indeed. Very, very good game. Certainly going to grab that replay for a later date. That was a very, 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 very fun game. Very, very fun game. Fantastic. Alrighty, so moving into game 2, we are going to be on the Waste of Nurgle, and of course you can't repeat bans, so it'll be very interesting to see what the next game brings here. So it looks like it's going to be Khorne versus Grand Cathay. Now that certainly does favour Khorne. Maybe Tracer thought that Pale Ale was going to be maybe going Ogre Kingdoms. I know a lot of people try and get that matchup if they can. So it seems like a lot of you think that it's still great. A lot of people are still enjoying Warhammer, which is pretty good. It's certainly been improved by 1.1. If you guys, certainly enjoyed the update since the 1.1, is that what's certainly made it better? Also had real sort of like no real effect. What's your guys' thoughts on that? Waiting for Chorfs. Waiting for other factions. Me, who put your birthday in my calendar next year so I can say happy birthday a week before. Chat noises. I love it. How did you find out my birthday, Mr. Mark? How did you find out my birthday? Maybe I told you. Played this matchup like 7-8 times yesterday to learn it. I think Khorne is very slightly favoured, but once is on Khorne to play well, whereas Cathay can be defensive. It's true. It's true. If you've got the micro to do well, you certainly can here as Khorne. Yeah, I think it's definitely Khorne favoured. Yes, it really does depend if they can break the box. Yeah, 100%, 100%. Both players are ready, so let's hop into this. Can the Pale Ale bring it back here to take it to game 3 here? Maybe. It really depends. So you know what it is, ladies and gentlemen? It is going to be the gaming hour, therefore we're on to the second coffee. There we go. Second coffee activated. That means we're in pure gaming territory now. So quadruple dragon crossbows. Jesus. Alright, let's do it. Quadruple crossbows. Isn't Khorne vs Grand Cathay favoured is a GC because of double terracotta sentinel block? I mean, I think halberds deal with that, right? Pretty comfortably. Also, I think Scarbrand kind of, Scarbrand certainly gives a good old teabag to those big boys, that's for sure. Yeah, so we had Exalted Bloodthirster and Bloodthirster from Pale Ale. So I think that might have been a bit of a problem there. So we're going to be seeing 4 units of Fleshhounds on the front. We are going to be seeing, oh my god, mass Gore Beasts, Cultists of Khorne, triple Gore Beast Jarrett, and double Bloodthirsters. My god, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got a game on our hands. That is for sure. We are going to be having Peasant Horsemen that are going to get wrecked. We're going to be having a bunch of Jade Warriors, and we have quadruple Celestial Dragon Guard. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Also, the Lord of Yin is going to be having the Ancestral Warrior summon, Talons of Night, and then the Storm as well for negative 45% speed. Biggest problem here, Bloodthirsters are going to be very, very, very powerful. It's going to be rough to stop that. Cultists will keep it busy in the back. I don't know if we're wide enough here. I think normally mass infantry is where we struggle with Grand Cathay. We do have a cannon. We do have a cannon. And then we have also 4 Celestial Dragon crossbows. Oh, I don't know. I put your birthday... Ah! I see you enjoyed my accurate meme, was it? Yeah. The meme was very accurate, man. Jesus, like, using Streamlabs, man. I don't know what's happened to Streamlabs. It's died for me. I'm pretty sure it's something I've done, because I think other people use Streamlabs, but I suffer when I use it on this game, man. I suffer so hard. I suffer so hard. Yeah, so Barn Eyes, I appreciate that, but at the same time, Mr. Mark, it actually didn't do my birthday stream on my birthday, I don't think. I think it was like a day or 2 after my birthday, I think. I'll have to go back and check. I seem to remember, I don't think I can see the date here. I would have to go onto the video for you. Birthday live stream, let me check when that was. Oh, no, it wasn't my birthday. It was actually on my birthday. Wow, imagine that. Normally, that is not normally how that works. This is an interesting play as well. We're going to have a bunch of the Fleshhounds in the middle. Normally, I would have had maybe some Fleshhounds over here, coming around the back. And you can see we have some Peasant Horsemen waiting there as well. You can have some coming around the right-hand side as well, through the trees and across. Because they'll get protected by the ridge here, so they can get up and round and start compromising the dragon crossbows. I think saying the same here as Matt, I think it does favour. It definitely favours Grand Cathay here, I think. Bit of a shoot and a miss there up against the Bloodthirsters. I think Grand Cathay is going to be very, very difficult to take down. They don't have many anti-large options though, so it very much comes down to how the Bloodthirsters are played. Now, the Dragon Lord can get away. There's no way it's going to get caught here. The Bloodthirsters aren't quick enough. But if they get in and they start compromising these crossbows, yeah, that's the problem. Overcasting is going to slow down the double Bloodthirsters. They're in front on their own. These dragon crossbows are going to wreck. They are going to wreck if given the choice. You need to have your doggos forward now. Oh no! My Bloodthirster, don't die like this. The Gore Beasts are in. They're going to be fighting. We have the Bloodletters charging in as well with the Cultist on horseback. Bloodletters are fighting in the back, only up against 1 Celestial Dragon crossbows, which means these 3 are just going to turn and shoot. You need to have a Bloodthirster on each one. Now we do see the Cultist, he fights here up against this Dragon crossbow, but here we go. The Bloodthirster is going to fall. You need to compromise all 3 of these targets. So this one needs to compromise, this one. The one on the right hand side has, but the front one is getting compromised now. But yeah, the boys are coming through, but it's too late. You can see the Bloodthirster's already dead. I'm not saying that's GG's already, but it's not looking great. That's really, really unfortunate. Yeah, a lot of things I see as well from new players, certainly from a campaign perspective, is like their Lord choices are like indestructible. That is just not the case here in the multiplayer scene. They are certainly not indestructible. So the Lord choice goes down. That's going to be -16 leadership here for all the units of Khorne. Bloodthirster is going to come across, maybe compromise this unit over here. What we do see in the pocket is the Fleshhounds are going to be fighting alongside the Ancestral Warriors. It's not going to be great for them, the anti-large armor piercing. But the nice thing here, the Fleshhounds do have magic damage. They can circumvent all that physical resistance. So they will chew them through pretty quickly. Dragon crossbows pull through very expertly here to the back. But of course, they're still getting compromised by the Bloodthirster. It's going to be pretty gnarly for sure. But we're going to be shooting across and doing some good damage. Yeah, look at the DPS. It is disgusting here up against the Bloodthirster. Going quite nicely though, the Gorbe's Chariot is going to be fighting in the middle. Going to be suffering up against mass infantry, but they'll be charging through quite nicely. And yeah, they're very heavily armoured. They do go down to apparently, oh yeah, of course, the Lord Choice, I believe, has the Lord passive, so they will be reducing that armour. But they're normally about 130 armour per model, so they can really do some quite nice work for sure. Dragon crossbow shooting over the top here, that's going to be the double Bloodthirster dead, and that could be a problem for a new player coming with double single entities. Really getting that value there for them can be extremely tough. We do have a broken chariot here in the front. The other 2 chariots really going to be suffering. Flashhounds falling apart. We're procting on army losses. And that's GG's well played. GG's well played. Yeah, GG's. Golf clap. Golf clap. Yeah, yeah, this is the way that goes. But yeah, I mean, these crossbows would have got redonkulous damage. 800, 600, 2.3, and 800 there from the crossbows. Yeah, very, very strong. It's not much to say. I think that going in with your double monster choices was a bold strategy, Cotton. But I appreciate Pale L or Samric coming on and playing. Like it takes a lot of confidence. It takes a lot of confidence. And you didn't play bad, dude, at all. You definitely. Did you break the rules? Did you break the rules? Now, in past, I think it's been a rule since Warhammer 1. It used to be you had to have a minimum of a 300 model count. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think that was changed. I would have to double check. It was here. I did pin it. Eliminated the 300 minimum model count. Okay, yeah, cool. It's gone. It doesn't count anymore. Sweet. So actually, that was a legal builder. Yeah. Very good stuff. Yeah, I thought they did. I remember being shocked about that because that's been an old school rule. That's, been a very old school rule. Gorby started doing very well here in the middle. You can see they've got the 600, 400s. I think you just needed more infantry here. But of course, this is a bold move, Cotton. I really liked it. Tech elites are diseased. That's not going to think. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, GG's, Crawford. Yeah, really good game, bro. Really good game. Your first game, 100% I'm going to be casting that one. That was a very, very good game. This one here, I really like your ideas. I see where you're coming from, but sadly, I think getting deleted here with the double bloodthirster was a bit of a problem. With the quadruple Celestial Dragon Guard, I'm sure we were expecting a super wide build. It's probably what we were expecting. But yeah, very, very well played. So just going to kick you there, brothers. Sorry about that. But we are going to be in the final. We are going to be having Matthew joining us here up against Traitor, which is going to be super fun. Yeah, it's going to be super fun. So the final game, we're going to be on the Vampire Forests to start. I have to find the right one. It should be the Deadwood Vampire Forests. There we go. I forgot what game 3 is. What was game 3? Game 3. I think game 3 was meant to be the Flats of Kislev. I think it was. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Cool. So we have the Vampire Forests up first. Let's have a look here. There we go. Deadwood Vampire Forests. And then we're going to move on to the Wastelands of Tzeentch, the Flats of Kislev as game 3. Fantastic. 13th of February is a cursed birthday. Well, yeah, it is. Sometimes I play really bad and sometimes I'm broken good, but then Baron comes to destroy me. I played against Baron quite a bit, actually. Baron's a very, very good player, actually, from the short bids. He certainly come leaps and bounds, for sure. Quad Expos are extremely underrated. Yeah, the Quad Expos, the Celestial Dragon Guard crossbows are, really, really good. The DPS on them is some of the most elite in the game. It's very, very high. Very, very good performance for sure. Yeah, it's really, really powerful. So I think whilst we're waiting, I can't actually build anything here, which is a bit of a shame. Is Matthew coming? Let me just add Matthew. So I'm going to ask you guys a game. I'll ask you guys a game. God, Jesus Christ. You can tell just how tired I am today, can't you? I'm going to ask you guys a question, and it's related to games. So... So with this question about games, it's for any and all of them. So I'm asking you guys, if I was to do a different if I was to do some different content, what would you want to see from me? So if I was to play another game, what would you like to see most? Would you like to see something like a Mountain Blade 2? Currently on Twitch, I have been playing, and for those that don't have my Twitch, do feel free to go check it out. It is down there for you guys if you want to go see it. And I do some live streams on there every now and then. I have been playing some Dawn of War. Been really enjoying that. Been really enjoying that. On my Discord, for those that are not on my Discord, I do actually have a section called Game Suggestions for Logic. So you guys can come in, put your game suggestions, and people vote if they like those game suggestions. So you can go like, oh, hey Logic, I'd like to see you do this, or play this, or do that. And then you guys can, come have a little votey vote on what you'd like to see me do, maybe in some other future content, I guess, really. So I'll also leave a link down there for that. So these are some of the ones. So Mountain Blade is my one. I think I might play some Mountain Blade anyway. And some of these might be in video format. Some of these might be on live streams on Twitch. Maybe even a live stream on YouTube every now and then. I might throw up some different stuff. Yeah, but would you be interested in seeing Halo Wars, StarCraft, Dawn of War, Mountain Blade? You know, you can throw in some other ones. I can only put maximum of 4 up, but we could talk about Mordhau. Some of the other suggestions that we've seen here on the Discord. We had Skyrim down here, Civilization 6, Minecraft, Crusader Kings. What else do we have here? We had Lawn Simulator from current year. Gotta love it. We had the Warhammer Chaos Gate, which is not out yet, but it's coming out soon, which I've actually seen some pre-release stuff from it, and it looks really cool. Yeah, some other people have said like Warhammer 2 and stuff. If they want to see some more of that, then I can certainly think about that. Quite a popular one as well was War Thunder, Space Engineers, Hollow Knight was quite a popular one. Valheim was extremely popular. XCOM was up there. League of Legends was up there. Valorant was up there. Warcraft 3, Men of Assault 2. Barn Finders. Can't believe that's a game, Corin. Yeah, I can't believe that's a game. That's unbelievable. And then, yeah, so there's a bunch of things that have gone up. Yeah. Yeah, it's true, Mark. It's true. Yeah, I have one of my controllers around here, actually. This is my old school controller here. You guys will see, like, paddles on the back and all sorts of things. But R2 button is beyond yanked. It's finished. It is wrecked for sure. But yeah, controller's like it's reaching the end. Yeah, I was an old school FPS controller player. Mouse and keyboard less so, but I certainly can get into doing a bit of mouse and keyboard stuff. There's an incredible amount of games that I could play for sure. I'm starting a lot of you guys enjoying Dawn of War. I absolutely loved Dawn of War when I've been playing it. Me and Ducky pretty much play Dawn of War every single day at the moment, and I'm just absolutely loving it. Yeah, I'm getting like the slight opinion that not as many people are enjoying like Warhammer 3 at the moment. So maybe it'd be quite nice to just mix in some other stuff. War Thunder and Valorant, 100%, bro. So I get 6 options on YouTube. When I get my 6 biggest options, I'll probably put a mixture of 1 or 2 of my favourite, and then I'll put a mixture of 4 of the fan favourites in there, and then I'll put them up on YouTube as a vote there for the community, for you guys to vote on what you want to see. and then anybody that's a member, I'll do a members poll. So becoming a member, you get a bunch of benefits, and then you also get your private polls. So I'll put a private poll on there as well, and then what I'll do is, if you're a member, I'll do the favourite members ones, and then I'll also do the favourite one from the fan decision, essentially. So that'll be pretty nice to like do some other content. I'll be doing Dawn of War 1, Dawn of War 2. I've been told to avoid Dawn of War 3. Is what I've been told to avoid. But I'll definitely be doing Dawn of War 1 and 2, 100%. Been loving Dawn of War 1. Halo Wars was also super popular. StarCraft, I've seen Turin play quite a bit, so I've been told that, you know, that's certainly one that I should consider. Hey, Big Ducky! He says, Halo Wars! Yeah. A lot of people liking the Mountain Blade as well. I could certainly play some Mountain Blade, get the old PC controller going, and give that a good old rattle. Wouldn't mind doing a bit of that. I do actually have another controller here, which I actually have a Razer controller, but I can't find my controller cable for it. I don't know what I've done with it. I have a specific, because it's got a special like port in the back there that only the Razer controller thing will fit in. So a regular, normal, standard cable won't fit into this. So, which is a bit annoying actually, but it's just the way it is, I guess. As you can see there, it just doesn't fit in, which is it's irritating. Which means I can't use it, which is really annoying because it means I can't charge it and stuff. So. Majorly irritating, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Because then it'd be nice, because this controller's dying and I need another one. Turin plays Warcraft, I believe. Oh, he plays Warcraft, not StarCraft. Oh, okay. I got that one wrong. I see. Maybe we need to check out Warcraft as well then. That seemed to be quite a fan favourite. He's been playing some Dawn of War 2 as well, actually, I think, recently, Mr. Torino. I think I was watching some of the last one. I think it was a couple of days ago, actually. He's been quite enjoying the Dawn of War 2. But Dawn of War is, like, super fun. I really enjoy Dawn of War. It's a really, really fun game, for sure. It is Warcraft 3. Yeah, he's been playing some Warcraft 3 for nostalgia purposes. Or maybe he was. Yeah, he's been playing a lot of Warcraft. Maybe it wasn't StarCraft. Why did I think it was StarCraft? I don't know why I thought it was StarCraft. I don't know why. What a scrub. Also, there's Age of Empires. You know, obviously you guys, you know a lot about Age of Empires and, you know, these kind of things. So. Maybe that's an option for you guys as well. Elden Ring. Halo Wars. Hey, Eldrin. Oh, Eldrin. How we doing? Eldrin of the Mist. Ah, you're saying Eldrin, Ducky. Not. I thought you were trying to say Elden Ring, but it looks like you're not. You're saying Eldrin. Yeah, I'm doing good, man. How are you doing, bro? Hope you're doing very well. Hope you're doing very, very well. No, StarCraft 2. So what is Warcraft? I don't actually know what Warcraft is. Matthew, whenever you're ready, bro, just feel free to ready up, my dude. Would be interesting to do a King of the Hill tournament where one top must play a custom body part of Demon Prince. Oh, that could be interesting. Depends on what Mountain Blade, though. Probably Mountain Blade 2. Storm. I'll probably play Mountain Blade 2. I'll probably play the most recent one. Or you're not a fan of that one? You're not a fan of that one? So what I've said for a couple of guys that may be coming in a little bit later here, with the Discord, I did my game suggestions for Logic. On that one, I'll be taking the 4 most popular and then putting them on a community tab, so you guys can vote for that one. And then I'll be picking my 2 favourite. And then I'll put those on the community tab on YouTube. And then once a week, I'll be putting up content of a different game. I'll be just playing something else a little bit different. Have you ever played Warhammer Gothic Armada 2? I haven't. I've actually never heard of it. But yeah, that could be really cool, Eldrin. There was loads of like little cool games that we used to do in Warhammer before. So I used to actually host a tournament which was called the Sub-Faction Tournament. So there were so many sub-factions in Warhammer 2. Of course, there's none here. There is a couple at the moment. Like Colstalton, technically, is a sub-faction, but it doesn't quite work like that anymore with the whole colour scheme changes, which is... yeah, it's a bit of a shame, because I kind of like the sub-faction element, because with sub-faction you had different units and stuff like that, and you saw different gameplays. I don't have it installed, got the older one installed. Ah, right, yeah, so the new one is quite good, apparently, Storm, yeah. But yeah, 2 is good. Oh, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I've heard that it's like, it's not, it's obviously like Mordhau, but not quite like Mordhau. But apparently it's really decent, so I've heard. So that's certainly one for me to try out, I think. Yeah, Mountain Blade seems quite popular with you guys, yeah. Love me some Warband with mods. Oh, okay. Yeah. Alright, so for the land battle here, coming into the final, which I haven't updated yet because I am a scrub. I do apologise. We do have Traitor GG going up against Matthew. It is going to be 0-0 here in the grand final. Are you still interested in doing a tournament where the... Ah, yes. Well, here's the thing with the Demon Prince, unfortunately, Eldrin, is a little bit powerful. But if you can find balanced ways to use it, could be quite interesting. So, double light war sleds here for Matt. He's going to be doing pretty good stuff there with the armored Corsairs. 5 in the front line as well. And it's like we are going to have Corsairs with Corsair spears. Little Grom here in the back. Looks like it's going to be 2 Little Groms, backed up by a Snow Leopard. Really like the Snow Leopards. I really do think they're quite underrated. And how they don't do magic damage is quite surprising to me. I mean, look at this. How are they not magical? I don't quite understand that. But they do have physical resistance, which is also rather interesting. Anti-large, armor piercing, and frostbite. So for the Frost Maiden of Tempest, we are going to have the Hawks of Miska, which is a really good discourage ability, so negative 16 leadership. And then I think it's like a 15-meter-ish radius for the spell, so it can be quite good here. And would you look at the big boy? We are going to have Colstalton on the Polar Bear here with the Urson's Ward, and then also the Lullaby, making them rather cheap. Now, I do really like the Song of Winter Sunlight. It is a very, very powerful ability, but looks like we're not going to be seeing that today, keeping it cheap and cheerful. We are going to have Peasant Long Spearmen here, backed up by Jade Warriors in the front with the Sword and Shield. More Peasant Long Spearmen here in the back with a Grand Cannon. We are going to have the Celestial Dragon Crossbows. It looks like it's going to be the 1, 2, 3, 4 of the Celestial Dragons again with the Lord of Yin. Now, I do believe in this matchup, it is going to be Cathay favoured. Yin Magic coming in with the Storm of... is that going to be... It's not Storm of the Dragons, is it? It's Storm of the Knights. Oh, Storm of Shadows. Talons of the Night. There we go. That's where I got messed up. And then Ancestral Warriors Summon. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty damn good. Peasant Horsemen over there on the right. Some here on the left. It's like a very similar build that he brought up against Khorne here, which is quite an interesting one. M and B fight system is like a Mordhau chivalry, but game itself is a giant sandbox. Right, okay. Right, okay. And does that limit it, or does that actually make it quite decent? In your opinion, Midnight Sun, what's your thoughts there on the sandbox element? Gothic Armada 2 is like a Warhammer Space Fleet tactical stuff, like with Tyranids, Orcs, Space Marines. Listen, you just got to put Space Marines in and your boy is invested. I have 2, but it's campaign. I have that too, but its campaign is supposed to be good. Okay, awesome. So as far as balancing the Demon Prince, he should be allowed to have life regen and stamina regen. These are probably a few combos that are really strong. Yeah, we did watch Kiara bring them up against Reist, and what was I going to say? Yeah, she brought a regen Demon Prince that was incredibly powerful. He just single-handedly won the game. He got like 3.8k damage and had like 100% HP. Like it was a bit unbelievable. Hey, Samaric! I have fixed my name issue here. Now people know who I am. Fantastic. I love that. I love people that have the same name in Discord, on YouTube, in game. Oh, you people that have the same name everywhere are legends. Legends. Makes my job 1,000 times easier. So we're going to be shooting in the front here. We do have the big cannons. firing at each other. Little Groms could be having some problems here from the grand of all cannons here in the back. But if he scoots and shoots, which it looks like he's going to be doing here, is going to get that little booty there swiveling around. Look at this. And also, I always love the guy on the side here. Look at this guy. He's just straight swagging it. He's got his ear right next to a ginormous cannon. Does he care? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This man is built of harder stuff, that's for sure. In the trees, Peasant Horsemen, you could definitely compromise the light war sleds. Got to be careful in the trees here with the Lord of Yin. Maybe get a summon here in the back, though. We can certainly compromise some of the armoured Corsairs. Could be certainly quite strong. We are moving forward here with the forces of Grand Cathay. That's probably because the Grand Cannon is not going to be able to effectively out-trade Little Grom. So what I would do actually here is probably fire amongst the armoured Corsairs. Try and see if we can delete as much of the front line. I think perhaps shooting Little Grom could be a little bit of a problem. But great dutying coming here from Matt. Going back and forward, really getting away from a lot of these shots. A couple missing here though. Grand Cannon is, still relatively cheap. Oh, that's a lovely shot. No, that hit home. That there was a home run, ladies and gentlemen. That did a lot of damage. That's going to be down to 2 models out of 4 here so far. Peasant Long Spearman in the back, just giving the harmony buff, and therefore that reload skill. Nice hit here into the armored Corsairs, and for the majority, definitely going to be giving the advantage here to the Cathay forces. Not allowed, no regen, no stamina regen. That would make sense, but of course then, we're then talking about implementing rules and stuff, so we'd have to really look closely into, I mean, I'm not against it, certainly not against it, but we'd certainly have to, look through the rules and try and balance it, yeah. It's actually one of the quietest places to stand on a cannon. What, in the middle? It probably is, actually. To be quite honest, it probably is. Because you've got the explosion down one end, and then, of course, it coming out the other end is probably quite loud. But, yeah, he stands on them. He doesn't care. So we're going to push through the middle here of the light war sleds. We're actually going to be using the Storm of Shadows here, which is going to be slowing down quite nicely, down to 41 speed. And then we're going to get in here with the Dragon Lord, which is going to be fighting quite nicely. That charge bonus is really going to benefit here. 70 charge bonus with 440 weapon strength is, going up to 500 weapon strength is certainly, you can't underrate that for sure. The Celestial Dragon crossbows really do need to fire here amongst the light war sleds. They really want to take down the, cavalry pieces. In the middle, this is probably going to be a Storm of the Night, maybe, or what's this going to be? Hawks of Miska. Hawks of Miska down on the line here. Yep, I forgot. Yep, so Hawks of Miska through the lines of the Peasant Long Spearmen. Doing some pretty good damage here in the front. Warheads pull through their armoured Corsairs. The brothers here are going to be charging into the front amongst the Jade Warriors. Now, Jade Warriors here do a 36 melee defense, going up against 38 melee defense. So with harmony buffs, you could see Jade Warriors winning here in this battle, but it looks like the armoured Corsairs, for the most part, will more than likely be taking the trade in their advantage due to their damaged brothers. In the middle, Corsairs fighting up against Jade Warriors. They'll win that for sure. We are going to get a summon in the back here. The Celestial Dragons are going to be summoned. And the Ancestral Warriors, the stormy ones of the night, going to be compromising the Corsairs quite nicely. And that's actually going to be the armoured Corsairs. They're going to be chewing through them quite nicely, actually. And yeah, they'll certainly bring these down to size. And being that these do have a mass physical resistance, they're going to be very tough to take down themselves. Over here on the right, we are going to see Jade Warriors. They're going to be compromising the armoured Corsairs on the right. Cycling through is going to be the light war sleds. They're going to be getting back and forward here, using those guns to quite good effect. Oh my god, I caught that there right at the end. The Celestial Dragon crossbowmen, of course, getting turned sideways thanks to the light war sleds getting a ginormous cannonball down the flank, and that did some devastating damage. In the middle, probably another Hawks of Miska. That is going to do some tremendous damage here amongst Tracer GG and his forces. That's certainly going to rip through quite nicely. It's a fantastic spell, I must say so. You've got the little birds swimming around. When I first saw this, I thought that was little lightning. All these the little birds with little lightning, like little lightning bolts, which is quite interesting. But Constantine's going to charge through. The big boy. Rasputin's just going to be fighting and just killing most of the Jade Warriors here, doing some pretty good damage indeed. In the back, we are going to have Little Grom firing. I don't think we didn't bring, unfortunately, the mirror shield, so the mirror shield would have been quite nice up amongst the Little Grom. Would have been firing back there on himself. In the pocket, we see the Storm of Shadows activated here on top of the Light War Sleds. Sadly, in melee combat, these Celestial Dragon crossbows don't have much AP, but of course, being reduced down on armor, the Light War Sleds still will take a little bit of punishment, but not too much. Lord Choice is going to be recharging, trying to do as much disruption as possible, but it's going to be pretty hard. This is where the Light War Sleds really do truck through quite nicely, and if you get that mobility and the micro going here for these elements, they really do some quite nice damage overall. And the pocket Colstarton is going to be charging through to the backside. Really needs to compromise these Dragon Crossbows. Dragon Crossbows just do so much damage. It's unbelievable. But yeah, nice micro here coming from Matt. Colstarton's in the back. We do see some of the bears really sliding through here on these sleds. These chariot pieces are very strong. Now we are going to be using By Our Blood. We are down to 86 health. And it looks like here we might be dropping with this model around a 38, and there we go before. It's just going to be one model left here. Going to be another Hawks and Miska here in the middle. Really trying to benefit and get some good bonus there from that Discourage. And negative 60 leadership really does pay dividends over time. Especially when we get to the later stage of the game and really lacking low on leadership, and maybe a Lord has died as well. It really does play a bit of a part. Now we can see the Lord Choice is pretty close to the Frostmaiden of Tempest. She's going to be in the middle, a little bit on her own. So maybe we could get in and amongst her and start compromising the Caster Lord. In the back, we are going to have the Storm, the Talons of Night, I think it's called. It's going to be doing some good damage up against the Armoured Corsairs. We are going to be proccing By Our Blood, and maybe the Trophy at the mouth Peasant Spearmen are going to be chasing back the elite Armoured Corsairs here in the middle. They're going to be spearing and doing all sorts of good damage. But I absolutely love the idea, the fact that these guys are like, we're going to break, but we'll stand. We'll stand strong, that's for sure. So the Frostmaiden is going to be in and amongst the Peasant Long Spearmen. It's really quite laggy here, but we are going to see that the Dragonblood Lord relatively healthy. 4,700 HP, but we've got to be careful. Colstarton does have healing, and he's looking super tanky. We really need these Celestial Dragon crossbows to bring him down to size. If we can't do that, it's going to look pretty devastating here towards the end of the game. In the middle, the Snow Leopard is going to be fighting. We need to get the Lord Choice in here to fight. But of course, the Lord Choice is also going to take a buckload of damage here from the Snow Leopard. So what do we have here to deal with this single entity? Probably not much. I'm going to be honest, we probably do not have much. And he's going to tear through all of the Dragon Crossbows. And that actually, I love the Snow Leopard. I think it's a very good unit. I think it's incredibly underrated. So in the middle, Light War Sled is going to be suffering down to 2 models, 1,200 HP there. In the back, the Armored Corsairs were pushed off. I love the fact that they're coming with the kind of the golden yellow shields and then the nice black ones. Quite a nice colour scheme for sure. War Sleds are going to be still relatively healthy, not taking too much extra damage, and lots of the Jade Warriors are going to be falling. In the middle, it's going to be a Storm of the Night here, catching a lot of the Armoured Corsairs. Yeah, lovely Storm of the Night there, catching both of the Armoured Corsairs. Traitor GG really trying to bring this back here with some really good spell usage. That's going to be both Armoured Corsairs there falling to the cause, and hopefully here the Polar Bear Gods can certainly help quite nicely. Snow Leopard going to be charging over, maybe trying to see if we can compromise the Blooded Lord here as he's fighting up against the Little Grom. We are going to be using Hawks of Miska, and that's a very nice ability usage there. That's going to be deleting a lot of the cheap infantry and giving them Discourage, which is very handy indeed. Got to be careful here, the infantry traitor is moving in with the Jade Warriors, and likely the Hawks of Miska does get away. But look at this, 1, 2, 3 units in the back of the Celestial Dragon crossbows going to be firing amongst Colstarton, and this is why pushing off these units to the edge of the map is super important. You definitely need to invest your units to get these off the edge of the map. The Lord Choice is going to be fighting here in the middle. The Lord is going to be near the Snow Leopard. We've got to be very careful. That armor-piercing anti-large sniper can do some very good work. I actually want to get in and amongst him and see what he's going to be up to here on the average day in the Kislevite realms. Going to be here on the Troll Country. Actually, I think this is actually good with the Vampire Forest. I do apologise, talking about the wrong place here. But nice there, good snipe amongst the Frostmaiden. She's going to be using By Our Blood. And we can get out here with the Lord Choice, allow that to deactivate, and then hopefully we can remove her from the battlefield. That's just going to be a buffer of 30 seconds. Cannon's going to be shooting the back here, up against the Celestial Dragon crossbows. Need to get these forward. There's still have a lot of ammunition here that can be utilised on the battlefield. And the Lord Choice Colstarton, he's going to be fighting amongst Peasant Spearmen. These, these men with the spears, certainly a bit of a nuisance here. But can actually do quite well up against Colstarton. Only 75 armor there for him. So very smartly, we're going to be having the Tempest sitting alongside the Snow Leopard. Just going to be shoving through here with the light war sleds. Definitely want to be shooting these as they approach. Down to 2 models, 1,000 HP for them. Oh no, oh that was so lucky. We got away there with the Lord Choice. Oh. Because they're not quite like Doom Knights. Doom Knights basically live in an elevator. They just go straight up. Whilst the Longmires, they need a bit of an acceleration going forward first, which, you know, maybe it's a little bit unfair, a bit hard to say. But what's going on here? That's going to be Storm of Shadows slowing down the Snow Leopard down to 55 speed. That's going to be quite handy indeed. Where's the Lord Choice going to go, though? This Lord is going to be very helpful towards the end. Having that mass charge bonus, you want to get involved as much as possible. Crossbows, don't probably want these as close as they are. Of course, you can probably compromise 2 units here with 1 unit. But shooting across here up against Colstalton is going to be devastating. Good hit, slows him down. I would probably now get out here with the Lord Choice. Probably doesn't want to stay in combat. You can continue to shoot here with your crossbows. Oh, Snow Leopard is just bounding across the battlefield. And it gets away yet again. Traitor leaving it to the very, very last second and still manages to get out. Overcast here for the upgraded Storm of Shadows. That is going to be slowing down. You see that charge bonus does kick in right to the end and gives that speed boost to the Snow Leopard. The Hawks of Miska here going through the lines of the Celestial Dragon crossbows. They are very low on ammunition now, so they're not going to be too handy. But you can see Colstalton, he's going to be relatively healthy, but the heal in the back of the Tempest, definitely not. And that's going to be Overcast here, that spell. And it's not looking too great. We do actually see... Oh, no, I think we're going to get caught here. We are going to get caught. Is that going to be... Oh, it's going to be a miss! It's going to be a miss! We get away with that. Oh, no, we don't. No, we don't. We've got to slow down. Oh, you good friend. Mr. Traitor GG, you, my friend, are incredibly lucky. You are incredibly lucky. Now, can we break Colstalton? We have to fight at some point. Good rear charge here. Most of the units are broken. We do actually have 1 unit of the Jade Warriors coming through, but they're going to be putting through broken units. Which, I mean, maybe the Harmony Yang will keep them going. But, yeah, it's not looking great here. Let me double check. So we are coming forward here with the Jade Warriors, so I'll allow it. We did disengage there. We are going to be having Celestial Dragon crossbows coming into the back. We do have some ammunition. This is an incredibly good game here between these two. Whoever loses this is going to be... I just feel for them already because this is such a fantastic game. Colstalton is taking an incredible amount of damage. I might even fire up against Little Grom here potentially. But it's hard to say. Colstalton's taking an incredible amount of damage. We are going to hit here with the Lord Choice and straight across here. Really, we're immediately on with the Snow Leopard. It was just far enough away that it was enough for the Lord Choice to get in. And there we go. We got a good hit. That's going to be some brilliant damage. And then we're going to get away again. So it looks like all of the infantry units are going to be in. But we certainly want to continuously cycle charge with the Lord Choice. Now, if we can get in and amongst Colstalton, a rear charge on him would be fantastic. 1.5k for him. He is going to be above 25%. So we won't be healing. But I don't know if we have a lullaby left. We might have one. Dragon crossbows are coming in. We're not going to last forever. We will have to eventually fight up against the Snow Leopard. We don't have a choice there. I think now you just have to go for Colstalton. I think you just have to fight sustained combat. You really do not have a choice here. The Lord Choice is getting away. Oh my god, I don't know how you're getting away. If this was me, I would have lost already, bro. I would have lost already. Is that to proc? Oh, that is incredibly smart. So we're going to be using the spell here so that we can proc the Lord passive for negative armor and negative speed. That's going to be very, very strong. It's going to be negative armor here for Colstalton down to 60. Hopefully the Dragon-Blooded Lord can finish him off. Down to 1.5k. Snow Leopard comes in. I think this is going to be GG's well played here for Matt. I don't see a way that we get away with this here. We are going to be rear charging, but you're also going to be getting rear charged here by the Snow Leopard. If we can kill the Snow Leopard, 51 melee attack up against 51 melee attack here of the Dragon-Blooded Lord. It is super close. We do get a Storm of the Shadows. I don't think we're going to get away here. We're going to be pushing off the Sword and Shield Jade Warriors. Balance of Power is pushing very heavily. GG's, well played. Coming here for Matthew and Kislev. Whoa. Mr. Blackthorn, you, my friend, have come in at the perfect moment. How are you? How are you, my brother? I hope you're doing very, very well. Big quack to you. Big quack indeed. Whoa, ladies and gentlemen, give me a second just to take in what the hell I just witnessed. That was absolutely fantastic. I don't know if it was that game or maybe Stormrunner's game with. I think it was Stormrunner against Bobman. It was a Kislev versus. If my Zinch, I think it was. Yeah, I think Zinch was on Stormrunner. That was one of the best land battle games I cast in Warhammer 2. This has got to be up there. Those two have got to be up there for sure. 1.9k there for the Lord of Yin. Very strong performance indeed. 1016 from the Celestial Dragon Crossbows. 1.4, 1.7, and 500. Yeah, very strong stuff here. Very well practiced Cathay Force for sure. 170 for the Grand Cannon. Really suffered here, unfortunately. But 200, 150, 256, and then 350 with 400 for the Jade Warriors. 500, 311 for the Peasant Horsemen with 15, 180, 880, 350, and 130 there for the Peasant Long Spearman. Very strong there from Traitor. Very, very strong. So we'll put the number there on Matthew. And yeah, Matt, that Snow Leopard single-handedly won the game. Single-handedly drew the game back in. And those anti-large snipers are an absolute nuisance. They're an absolute nuisance for sure. 550 for Colstalton, really underperforming actually. I'm quite surprised about that. He really does get some benefits from his melee attack, and also the Song of Winter Sunlight really does bolster units towards the end of the game. It really does. Giving yourself 100% vigor 3 times throughout the game, so giving yourself perfect vigor again throughout the game is really powerful. Do not underestimate that. Not gonna lie, I thought my goose was cooked. You played very well, bro. You played very, very well. I think if the Dragon Crossbows had got a bit more forward and maybe started shooting on the Little Grom, it might have been that way. It might have been that way. 740 there for the Frostmaiden Tempest. Really like the Hawks of Miska ability. Just that negative 16 leadership really does help up against the cheap Peasant Spearmen. 1.3 and 1.4k there for Little Grom, with 1,450 and 950 for the Light War Sleds. 1,500 for the Snow Leopard. That is nearly triple the value. Do not underestimate this unit. It is super powerful. I will even take double Snow Leopards in certain matchups because they are so goddamn good. I really like them up against Ogre Kingdoms. I really like them. I think they're very good. I've got 430 there for the Armored Corsairs, 280, 450, 230, and 300, with 120, 220 there for the Spears, and 45 for the Corsairs. Very, very well played. Very, very well played. Yeah, so we're going to be going on to match 2 here, which is going to be on the Wastelands of Zinch. Yeah, very, very strong game. But yeah, if you guys have any other games that you want to suggest here that you want me to see, you know, casting, playing, all these kind of things, do feel free to knock them down below. I'd love to see all your thoughts and opinions. I'm very quickly going to save that game for later usage. We're definitely going to be recasting that, that's for sure. It's a very, very strong game. Alright, so Grand Cathay versus Kislev. Yeah, very strong game. And of course there was a really strong one with Ogre Kingdoms versus Zinch. That was a really nice game. That was about a 12-minute game as well. Yeah, it was very good, I must admit. Must admit. So, game 2 here would be rather interesting between these two. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Thank you very much. Right.
can you check out Blood of Steel? It's a hack and slash game where you lead a group of soldiers and where you play characters. Yeah, I can do Eldrin. Do me a favor, go onto my Discord and you'll go down to the game suggestions for Logic and then put that in the game suggestions. That way I can't lose it, and also other people can vote on it if they like that game as well. Yeah, so go put that down there on the Discord. Yeah, 100%. 100% go put that down there on the Discord. So it's like Mount and Blade and Dawn of War seem to be like some of the most popular ones. Halo Wars as well was definitely up there, which is quite nice. So it looks like we're going to have Grand Cathay and then Ogre Kingdom. So Grand Cathay is a top pick at the moment here for land battles, which is it's quite encouraging to see because, of course, you don't really see them very much in domination games. Yeah, it can be really quite rough to see them in... I think they've actually been even further nerfed in domination. I think actually increasing that cost just brings more useful units to kind of compromise Grand Cathay with their range tools. I think it really helps them in other aspects, but I think you're very much then having to lean on Sentinel play, for sure. For sure. So for everybody that's here that's watching today, welcome to the final. I hope you guys have been enjoying the stream. If you have been, please do feel free to leave a like, and if you haven't already, do feel free to subscribe. If you guys are just watching here and you don't have, like, let's say, a Google account or a YouTube account, speaking on behalf of myself and probably every other YouTuber, I'd really appreciate it if you did make one and subscribe. Every single one really does help, and it really does help the growth of the channel. Of course, the bigger the channel gets, the more options and you know, all these kind of things that we get. And if you really do like seeing your current caster, whoever that may be, or your current content creator, you really do like them, you know, you may only think, it's only one subscription, doesn't really mean very much, but, you know, for example, for the majority on average that watch me, 80% of the people that watch me are unsubscribed. Was about 20%, and I think it's actually more than that are unsubscribed. So if you do, I really appreciate that. So yeah, do feel free to do that. That'd be fantastic. That'd be fantastic. Does the Jade Warrior with halberds get the bonus brace armor buff? Yes, I believe they do. Let me double check for you very quickly. I'm 99% sure they do. Yes, they do. They get defensive stance. This one here gives the charge resistance and then added armor. Yes. Yeah, so do go through and you know, check that out. You know, a lot of my videos that, you know, do particularly well. I'd say for the majority, if you took an average percentage of those that are subscribed to me, let's say for my top videos or live streams, especially my top videos, anything that's normally over 2K, it's probably like 85% aren't subscribed to my channel. So if you do that, it really does make a massive difference. It really does make a massive difference. Alright, so it looks like Mount and Blade is going to be taking that. I might leave it up just a little bit longer for you guys to you know, give that little vote on. You know, what kind of games. So yeah, just as a reminder, for those games, and, you know, stepping forward and doing a few extra couple of games, I'm going to take the 4 most popular from my Discord. So if you want to vote, you get 2 options to vote. The first one is you get to vote on my Discord. You then get to vote which options come up on YouTube. The 4 top ones you guys vote for, plus my 2 favourite, will go up on YouTube. You will then vote for what I will more than likely be doing content on YouTube first. People were particularly interested in Bane of the YouTuber. You just have to embrace it. Yeah, no, yeah, Midnight. Yeah, I've been embracing it for a long time. Yeah, I've been embracing it for a long time. Yeah, there are some that certainly have it worse off than I do. 100%, 100%. But, you know, sometimes it's just nice to for me it's just like a reminder, because, like, for me, I certainly didn't, and, like, you know, Certainly when I've watched people in the past, I definitely do it now. I definitely subscribe to everybody that I watch very regularly because it really does make a difference. It really does. Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does help. And also, like on Twitch, for example, if you've got Amazon Prime and you're not using it, many people didn't even know that Amazon Prime existed. When I started doing Twitch, I didn't know about Amazon Prime. I didn't even know it was a thing. And then I found out about it, and then I was like, "Oh, cool! I didn't know you could do this." So every time I get it every month, I just use it either with Ducky if Ducky's streaming on Twitch, or I use it, let's say, with Prophet Oreo, or I use it with whoever really. You know, maybe I'm watching somebody and I'll move it around every now and then and just give a little bit of support here and there. It doesn't cost me a dime, but it helps out those that are, you know, that are streaming and all these kind of things, yeah. Also, even though I like Mountain Blade, I think you have to stick to 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Yeah. Maybe RTS would be better. I mean, I'm happy to do whatever, bro. I'm happy to do whatever. The biggest problem that I found so far with Warhammer is that the lack of content that is coming to me is quite small. So I'm not getting very many videos. A lot of people want me to do Warhammer 2. I've only been sent one replay since Warhammer 3 has been live. I've only been sent one replay, and that's in a private DM, which I might look at casting anyway. So I've only been sent one of those. Warhammer 3 replays are pretty low. So I'm really struggling to find content to continuously cast. So that's been, you know, a bit of a challenge as well. But yeah, I definitely want to keep going with the RTS stuff, and you know, or turn-based strategy as well. You know, of course, single player is more turn-based strategy, while you know, multiplayer is definitely more RTS. Yeah, Halo Wars I would be down. StarCraft I would be down. Yeah, there's many type of games, and if I did like Mountain Blade, I'd either stream it on Twitch, where you come watch me for 3 hours, and then I would condense it and put it on YouTube, like all the funny, hilarious bits of me doing stupid stuff, because that's what I do. I'm an idiot at heart, and I love it, because that's the best way to play it. Does charge, resistance, and armor buff activate still holding in melee, or do they? No, yeah, so Eldrin, when they're held in combat, so that if the halberds are still but in combat, they still get that stance buff because they're still standing strong. Yeah, they still get that plus armor and that plus resistance, yeah. Yeah. Just as long as they don't move. It doesn't regardless what else, even if they're getting shot, even if they're in melee combat, they still get that bonus. So I'm just getting asked a question here, I think. Am I good? I think I'm all good. Hey, Eldrin, you joined. Welcome, my friend. Perfect, Eldrin. I just saw your little note there. Perfect. If you guys do want to interact with me more, I'm trying to do everything through Discord. I'm trying to use Discord as a bit of a medium between sort of Twitch and YouTube. SC requires you to have 500 APM compared to Warhammer, which is like 100 to 200 max actions per minute. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I played a lot of FPS, which is it can be extremely fast paced with like Call of Duty and stuff. So hopefully my PC macro can keep up. We'll see. I'd like to send you games, but I've played about 5 games in the last 2 weeks. That's okay, bro. And this is the thing. Like, and I don't mind that. It's just like from a sustainability point of view, I don't have much content to go off, which is totally fine. You know, if people don't want to play or people don't want to play much, that's totally cool, man. That's totally cool. Like it's absolutely fine with me. It's absolutely fine. You know, if you guys want to play, then wicked. This, you know, if you are playing, awesome. But if you're not, you know, people are allowed to take breaks from the game and stuff like that. All classic RTS are like this. Tactical games are much better in that regard. Yeah. I think StarCraft still has a massive Asian player base, I think it's a massive Asian player base still. I think like StarCraft multiplayer, I would just get wrecked. Dawn of War's been fun though. I imagine APM on Dawn of War is probably similar to Total War, probably. Oh, actually, I tell you what's more relatable to. It's actually probably more relatable to Age of Empires. It's more relatable to Age of Empires. So, we're going to go here with Grand Cathay. We are going to be having the Peasant Horseman. Looks like 3 units in the front. And then we're going to get really, really wide. We're going to get Matt here with the Peasant Long Spearman. Coming here with the Double Jade Warrior Halberds. Double Jade Warrior Halberds, more Peasant Long Spearman, and a Terracotta Sentinel. In the back, we are going to have the Grand Cannon. Here with also double Grand Cannons. And then we are going to have lots of Jade Warrior Crossbows. On foot, we are going to have the Lord of Yang. And he's going to be having the Strength of Yang, giving base weapon damage and armor piercing increases in a 55-meter radius for 13 seconds, only when casting. That's going to be quite a lot here with the Wall of Wind and Fire, and then the Dragon's Breath. I do wish that's map wide. I don't know why that's not map wide. I think that would actually be better if you made that map wide, and then just, and got rid of that range effect. You know, made it like 12%, or just do what they do with metal shifting. To make it meta shifting, so make it 13, make it 12.5%. I think that'd be better. I think, but you know, you can't have everything the same. I guess you can't have everything the same. But Noblards here in the front, 1, 2, 3, 4 bad boys with the Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw. The Maw caster here is going to be having Troll Guts, extremely powerful in the healing, the extra ingredients here with the Blood Cleaver and the Belly Slapper. Hunter over here on the right, who does not have a Noblar Thief Stone, so we might be getting shot here into melee combat with also Ogre Balls in the back. We're going to have a bunch of Saber Tusks doing these long lines. Don't know why Traitorkin does that, but I keep calling him Traitorkin. Traitor GG, I don't know why he does that, but I'd be interested to know. Dual weapons here in the front, backed up by Ogre Balls, so going pretty wide, cheap infantry. It's going to be very interesting. Can he compromise the box? Only time will tell. Only time will tell, but I really like the anti-large boss. It looks like here Matthew might have taken a couple of notes out of my book here. Peasant Horseman might struggle though. I think actually maybe 2 Jade. The problem is Peasant Horseman got 400. So you would have got 1 Jade Lancer plus unit Peasant Horseman. I think that might have been better actually. But I guess you can use these as just roadblocks when you need them. By the way, if you like Dawn of War, you might want to check out Company of Heroes, which is arguably the best Relics series. I'll tell you what, Midnight, do me a huge favour, bro. Drop into the Discord, put that in my game suggestions. I would really appreciate that, and I will check it out. And if people really like it, we'll vote for it, and then hopefully we'll try and do that. By the way, what do you think of going cheap Lord and going wide with Cathay? Only using Jade Warriors, Jade Halberds, Jade Crossbows, and Jade Lancers. Very, very cost efficient. Absolutely the way to play. It is just the way to play. I will have this argument many, many times, but due to things... So this is why I did a video. I think I named the video very, very wrong, because I think a lot of people... It wasn't as well received as I thought it was going to be, but I did a Vigor video, which didn't turn out as well as I wanted it to, actually from a quality perspective, but the information on there is really important. When you talk about Vigor and elite units, there's a lot of elite units that really drop with Vigor. Cavalry units especially, like the Blood Crushers of Khorne are one of the biggest units in the game that get slammed by Vigor. Like, they really get slammed, because Cavalry really takes a big hit from movement. They actually lose Vigor faster than any other unit in the game. That's going to be Cavalry Flyers, and then also, you know, Cavalry on the floor. Take a lot of Vigor penalties. So generally having lots of cheap, wide units that don't get hit too hard by Vigor and all these other negative buffs can be quite decent. Plus here, also with the Harmony of Yang and Yin, you get these leadership buffs that are really, really quite handy. I don't know why we're not seeing any of them here, but yeah, you can actually... Oh, it's because we haven't started yet. But yeah, you can get like up to 12 leadership, which is absurd. It's just absurd. 12 leadership here on the Peasant Long Spearman. That's going to be... I don't know. What's that? That's literally going to be a 20% increase on your leadership, which is flipping absurd. And you also get a multiplier there from your cheap Lord choice. Do those hunters both have Thief Stone? No, they don't. This one doesn't have Thief Stone. No, it's just naked, which I thought was quite interesting. Okay, I think we're ready to rumble. No, Beastmen tend to gauze with perfect vigor. Well, this was the thing. This is why Beastmen were actually really powerful. With perfect vigor on cavalry is incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. Yeah, 100%. In my opinion, I feel like Iron Harvest falls a little bit. Iron Harvest here falls What's that Ogres ball legal? Let me have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, it's legal. Oh, hang on. Maybe not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, it is legal. Yes, it is. It's a mixture of dual weapons and regular. As long as you've got 8, that's fine. What are we waiting for, gents? Are we waiting for something? Show up chat. Oh, looks like they're both ready. Yeah, gents, don't wait for me. Don't wait for me. Don't ever wait for me. I do love the game, but I fell behind a bit. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Perfect Vigor is incredibly strong. It's also one of the things that made Sigvold so powerful. His Perfect Vigor, compared to his melee stats, were incredible. Like, for example, with melee attack, when you get into the exhausted state, you lose 30% of your melee attack. 30%. So if we take, for example, the Hunter, he's got... That's not a very good example. Let's go to the Great Slaughtermaster. 40 melee attack. I mean, still, he's going to lose a lot, right? He's going to lose 12 melee attack. So he'll go from 40 down to 28, for example. The Dragon-Blooded Lord will lose 5.5 times 3. That's going to be 11. He's going to lose 16.5 melee attack. So he'll go from 55. Let's just call it 17. He'll go down to 38 from 55 in that exalted state. So you lose a lot of melee attack. Can't wait for COH3. What is COH3? Call of Honor? Call of Honor 3. I'm guessing. It's going to be Call of Honor. So, Cannon's going to be shooting at the front here up against the dual weapons, doing some very, very good damage indeed. That is one of the backsides here to having these big infantry units. Over here on the left-hand side, we are going to be having the double saber tusks. They will certainly tear apart peasant horsemen. But what we really want to do here, if I grab my little drawer, is, yeah, there we go. You want to get these around here with Traitor, get them around into the back and start getting in and compromising these forces. We're going to be deleting the peasant horsemen. We've definitely moved them away, so we now want to pull these back into the trees. Oh, would you look at that? Lovely stuff there. Saber tusks coming through. They'll get the charge here on the peasant horsemen. They do have 36 charge bonus, 70 weapon strength. They will thump very hard up against the peasant horsemen. Cannon's going to be firing, both of them doing some quite nice work. They're going to be slamming straight into the Ogre Balls. In the back here, we are going to be having the ginormous Hunter fighting here in the back. Now, he did actually have the Thief Stone. Of course, that's why he doesn't. Because you can't do double abilities. I'm an idiot. I do apologise, everybody. That's why he's got the Bang Stick and the Noblar Thief Stone. You can't have 2 Noblar Thief Stones anymore. I'm an idiot. I totally forgot. So we are going to have Ogre Balls here fighting alongside Noblars. They're really going to dissipate a lot of the damage, but you can see they're really struggling under the braced halberds. 90 armor, of course, anti-large armor piercing. Bang Stick down the line, though, the peasant long spearman is going to be getting thumped apart quite nicely. Now the grand cannons are going to be getting taken apart. And you can see here Matthew's build of just one line. So he's just going to be having one line here holding the front. And we can see the peasant long spearmen have fallen. That's where this, essentially that double... the double lines at the front could be quite nice. We have to get through multiple waves of infantry to get into the juicy pocket. But Saber Tusk is going to charge into the middle. Grand Cannon's going to be shooting across here into the backside of the Ogre Balls. The left-hand side is doing pretty well. We definitely want to be shooting over to the right-hand side if we can. Try and see if we can help as much as possible. The Hunters are going to be relatively healthy. It looks like they haven't been shot here by the Grand Cannons, so they're going to be getting away with it quite nicely. So definitely seeing here the Hunters compromising all the Jade Warriors. Where is the Lord Choice, though? Lord Choice is there. We haven't seen... Of course, we didn't bring the Ancestral Warriors, which is a bit of an interesting one. Ancestral Warriors is a very, very good counter up against the Hunters. Peasant Long Spearmen moving through. We can see the crossbows moving out. In the back here, the Peasant Long Spearmen are going to be fighting off the Saber Tusks. They have Rampage. We are going to get the breath attack here down the line of the Ogre Balls. Really, really lagging here. I do apologise, everybody. I don't know why this is lagging. I don't know why we're dropping FPS here, but it looks like we just are. But the Hunter's going to be fighting in the back. We can see a bunch of the Jade Warrior crossbows really fighting for their lives up against the Saber Tusks. And Peasant Long Spearmen are going to be falling in droves. Ogre Balls returning to the fray here. Going to be getting back in quite nicely to try and see if they can help bolster the front line and really butcher up against the majority of the infantry. Crossbows are going to get shattered. Balance of Power are going to be pulling into the Ogre Kingdom favour but the majority of their infantry has fallen. It's pretty much just going to be the double hunters left here. We do see the halberds going pretty strong. It's going to be, what is this? There's going to be a bank stick down the line. And there's going to be a bank stick down the line here, doing some good damage up against the Jade Warrior crossbows. The Lord Choice is in the middle, fighting here up against Ogre Ball dual weapons. Let's have a look here. So Terracotta, he's going to be scrapping. He's going to be fighting alongside the Great Maul Caster. Could hold here quite nicely, but he definitely needs to be over here fighting amongst the hunters. Looks like he's going to be... He had an ability activated there. He's going to be Butcher, which is going to be, I think, a bit of healing over on the right-hand side. So the Hunter's still going to be activated at the back here, doing some good damage. We're going to be breaking, not terrifying. So, of course, breaking, you can only break 3 times, and then you're shattered. So you've got to be very careful of that. But for the majority of Grand Cathay, we have been pulled apart. Terracotta Sentinel is going to be caught a little bit out of shape here, and yeah, looks like we're going to be suffering from the majority. Noblard Trapper's going to be fighting against the Sentinel. Where is the Lord Choice? Oh, she's getting butchered in the front. Now we don't really have many flying options here for the Ogre Kingdom, so actually maybe having the Dragon Lord in the sky might have been beneficial, but I think I'm probably not a fan of the Yang Caster. I definitely would have preferred a Yin Caster. Coming here with the Ancestral Warrior summons gives you 2 extra infantry units to protect that back line, which I think, you know, might have been a little bit better. Oh, Company of Heroes. Damn. What did I call it? I'll call it like Call of Honor, didn't I? Or something like that. Yeah. Ah, it was pretty close. It was all the same stuff. It's all the same stuff. So 341 kills there for 2,000 damage for the Hunter, 1,760 for the second Hunter, and 140 there for the Great Maul Caster. 740, 655, 120, and 300 for the Ogre Ball dual weapons, with 310, 390, 320, and 355 for the Ogre Balls. 280, 715 for the Saber Tusks, with 350 for the Noblar Trappers, 155, 40, 150, and 130 there for the Noblars. So coming in here for Matthew, we are going to have the Yang Caster coming in at 540, 190 there for the Terracotta, with 411, 640 there for the Grand Cannon. 650 for the Halberds with 470, 750, and 380 for the Halberds with 307, 95, 272 there for the Jade Warrior crossbows. Really not very much here. Not a big fan of the Peasant Horsemen, if I'm honest. But we saw 78, 94, 190 there for the Peasant Long Spearman with 330 and 400 there for the Peasant Long Spearman. So I think where I would go with Matthew's build, I would definitely be changing this to a Yin Caster with the Ancestral Warrior Summon, and then probably bringing... not too sure what else I'd bring on top of that. That could be it, to be fair. I don't really think you need much else. Maybe a Missile Mirror, in case we brought maybe some Lead Belchers, or we brought some Ogre Ball, some Manita Ogre Pistols. Yeah, could be quite nice. But I like the Halberds. I definitely would have gone with an extra Halberd. I would have removed all 3 Peasant Horsemen, got an extra Halberd. You got a good amount. You can still see doing pretty well here. Some of these suffered because they just got overwhelmed massively. But I definitely would have probably gone with more Halberds. Maybe got a Dragon Crossbow. Maybe not Dragon Crossbow. Sorry. Maybe got a Dragon Guard in there perhaps. But you see the double cannons. One got 600. The other one got 411. So not too bad. But of course, you know, these are 950 each. So you would expect a bit more. And then, of course, you get more infantry, you can have a bit more of a layered front line. That's probably what I would have expected. But yeah, GG's well played. GG's well played. Still very strong there from both players. So we're going to go through to the finale of a Game 3. So the first Game 3 today. Traitorkin and Matthew are going to be on the flats of Kislev. So it should be down here. It should be, I think it's the forest flats of Kislev. Flats of Kislev. Flats of Kislev, Troll Country. Alright, so we'll end that there for Mountain Blade then. So it looks like Mountain Blade is going to be taking that. Thank you very much, Midnight. I did see that there. Thank you very much. Yeah, Midnight, by the way, just so you know, you don't have to downvote your own one. I normally upvote and downvote, so people have an opportunity to do that. But you don't have to upvote and downvote. Like, obviously, you want the game, so just upvote it, and that'd be fine. And the other thing I'll say as well, for all of you guys that are voting, in the game suggestions, don't just downvote it. I'm not saying people are doing this, but don't just downvote it if you want your option to do well. I'd rather people just try and upvote if they can. Try and keep it positive and all. This is why I think custom Demon Prince should not be allowed to use Vigor or Regen HP, because both of those are so powerful. Together they are truly OP on single entity. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And that's the single reason why I think Song of Winter Sunlight and then Lullaby is very powerful on Cole Stoughton. It makes Rasputin very strong for sure. So it's going to be one apiece here going into the final. And winner takes all after this game. Winner takes all. So this is going to be the biggest ban and protect that these guys have ever seen. Which is going to be pretty nice. It'd be very good to see either of these guys winning for sure. Perfect. All right. So we'll wait here. We'll wait there to see what factions they're picking. It's going to be an interesting one. So the fact is they're obviously, relatively flat, pretty wide open. Some trees, not really too much to write home about. We have seen Kislev from Matthew. Yes, we saw Kislev from Matthew. Haven't seen Kislev from Traity yet. Khorne could also be utilised by either of them as well. Two still very strong factions left here in the pool, that's for sure. Oh, Slaanesh vs. Khorne. Very, very interesting. Alright, so the vote is going to be up, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be who is taking the win today. Is it going to be Matthew or is it going to be Traitor? So we have Matthew here with the forces of Khorne going up against the seductive Slaanesh. Who's taking it and why? Do let me know down below. Do let me know down below. I'm hoping to see a video from you called Plagues of Egypt, which would be a Nurgle vs. Tomb Kings match. Oh dear God. Oh dear God. Sadly, I don't have quite the resources to do that yet, but soon, definitely. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen for Immortal Empires for Warhammer 3. I am very excited for that. I must admit. Of course, it's going to be a time coming, but we'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to see. The missus asking how long I'm going to be. It seems like I've been I've been away for too long, ladies and gentlemen. I've been away for too long. I might be in trouble. Blood Bros before Demon Hose. I love it. It's going to be all about the who meets. To be fair, I love my greenskins. I love my dwarfs. I actually quite like the Empire. You know, I quite like a couple of their characters in the Empire. Carl of France, the biggest and the baddest and the best when it comes to plot armor. He was born in plot armor, molded by it. Molded by plot armor. Can you see plot armor till he was a man? It's going to be an interesting one. I think this is a very hard game for Slaanesh. I think this is very, very hard game for Slaanesh. I like greenskins and dwarfs. A duality of man. I love dwarfs and greenskins for very, very different reasons. To be fair, actually, very similar reasons. I love them lore-wise. Dwarfs are like my all-time favourite. Dwarfs and Space Marines are like just super badass factions, man. I just absolutely love them. But greenskins are just so ridiculous that they're incredibly fun. Like especially in Dawn of War. Like Dawn of War is just dumb. Like I love their lines. I love just how absolutely ridiculous they are. Dwarfs and like Space Marines are just these like heavily armored tanks that are just like are all about honor, and you have to take them down, and they're just, you know, a ginormous brute force in front of the in front of your enemy. They're like, cool, we'll hold this flank whilst you deal with the rest. But isn't Slaanesh always hard? I love it, Sam. Do you know, actually, I was speaking to a couple of DCA guys, and they were like, yeah, there's been some, like, obviously freedom of people making mods and stuff. And I feel like some of the Slaanesh mods were getting a bit much. So we're like, yeah, we might have to closely watch some of these mods and see that they calm down just a little bit, you know? Yeah, but I think that Slaanesh is probably the weakest faction in land battles, I think. And then I think it's probably Grand Cathay in domination. Yeah, it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough as Slaanesh in land battles, but I think they can do well. But I think, you know, otherwise they certainly have a pretty rough time with it. But you know, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I've been proven wrong before. But I always think two players of equal talent normally suffer under the might of pretty much any other faction. Yeah, I'm trying to think where Slaanesh would do very, very well. Domination previously, they did very well against Nurgle. They did very well. Where else would they do well? Nurgle, Cathay. I think they can do okay against Kislev. I don't think they're terrible against Kislev. Toon Kings are my favourite faction because Egypt mythology is so cool. Egypt mythology is pretty cool. I don't know if you follow the Bronze Age very much, Dragonborn, but the Bronze Age is like one of my favourite passages of time. Like, it's an incredibly weird and amazing time in history. It's very, very bizarre, like how forward thinking they were and all kinds of things, man. It's a very, very interesting subject matter to read on for sure. Reject lowly bodily pleasures, embrace glory in carnage. Exactly. Midnight Sun is definitely the embodiment of Khorne, 100%. These demon hoes can get down with any kinks you may have. Whoa, whoa. That's an extreme one out there coming from Eldrin. I love it. Alright, it looks like Slaanesh is going to be getting the backing here, though. Interesting. It looks like people are going to be backing Traitor and Slaanesh. Ooh la la, I must say, mes amis. I wish there were more barbarian fantasies like Conan the Barbarian. Yeah, I think me and Ducky definitely like our Vikings. I love my Vikings. Like, have you seen Midnight? Have you watched the series Last Kingdom? Please tell me you've watched Last Kingdom, bro. I need to know you've watched Last Kingdom. I need to know it. If you have or you haven't, I need to know. But Virgin Demonettes shed blood, which is pleasing to Khorne. This is true. This is true. This is true. Do you think giving Slanesh faction the Mirror Guard as a basic unit would make them better in game? Oh, indefinitely, yeah. I mean, 100%. I mean, the fact that they have no tanky infantry, yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100% it would make them definitely more powerful. Although the Mirror Guard are strictly, I'm pretty sure they're strictly bound to, I thought they were strictly bound to, what's his name? What's the Chaos guy's name? Sigvold. I'm pretty sure the Mirror Guard are strictly bound to Sigvold. I think they're made of mirrors, so Sigvold can always look at himself, even in battle. Because he's incredibly vain. I'm pretty sure there is, yeah. Hey, Oreo! How you doing, bro? How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing really well. Hope you're doing really, really well. I don't think there are Virgin Demonettes. Surprisingly, Slanesh isn't the most not safe for work mod out there, though. Oh, really? Jesus. I don't know if I want to know, bro. I don't know if I want to know. I haven't. I rarely watch TV shows. Oh, right, midnight. I'm going to tell you now. So, it's like Vikings, but better, right? So, essentially, Last Kingdom, for anyone that hasn't watched it, it's during the era where the Vikings raided England and they pushed them all the way back to Essex, or Wessex, sorry. They pushed them all the way back to Wessex. And it was basically the last kingdom of England. If that fell, England as we know it was done. And then it's basically King Alfred or Alfred the Great, which is otherwise known as. So it's basically a bunch of battles. It's basically a story built around real life events. Like it really entails a lot of real life battles and involves Vikings. And you follow this guy called Uhtred, and he was born an Englishman, raised by Vikings as a young teenager, and then you kind of follow him throughout the story of England and the Viking era. And actually, it's a really, really, really fun show that you should definitely watch. My favourite mod is the Miao Ying cleavage. Oh dear lord. Do I want to know this, Prophet Oreo? Do I want to know this? Is this NF? Is this not safe for YouTube? NSFY. That is so vain. Oh yeah, 100%. Makes Sigvold a playable Slanesh character. In theory is. He's in theory an embodiment of Slanesh. He's technically not an undivided Chaos Lord, technically. And the same for Sarthoriel. He's part of Zinch, right? So we have Bloodletters of Khorne, Bloodletters, Mass Bloodletters. So 4 Bloodletters. We're going to have Spawn of Khorne as well. It's going to be 1, 2, 3 units. Backed up by Cultist and Herald of Khorne. Cultist here, who I actually call Uhtred, because he looks like a barbarian himself, and he certainly travels and holds himself like one. He's going to be having the Gate of Khorne, and we are going to have the Herald of Khorne on a blood... no, what's this called again? Juggernaut. On the Juggernaut. Revel in Slaughter, the Hellblade, and also the Locust of Wrath. In the back, we are going to have some Flesh Hounds backed up by Triple Furies. Yeah, very nice, very nice. So at the front, we are going to be having Spears here from Traitor. 1, 2, 3, 4 units of Spears. The double Exalted Demonette, which come in here with the negative men attack here with Charmed. They also do have the Soul Scent, which is, I believe, with Intensity, as more units are wavering around them. They give armor piercing and melee attack increases. So as they're like dumpstering units, they give bonuses in a 30-meter radius. We are going to have the Seekers of Slanesh, which they don't have the Soul Scent ability. You actually need the upgraded variant of these, and the Hell Striders, which are going to be the anti-large poison cavalry. Very good variant. So the Herald of Slanesh with the Slanesh magic here is going to be on top of a Seeker. Here with the Arcane Conduit, the Blissful Rapture, and the Soul Siphon. With the spells of Hysterical Frenzy, which is quite interesting. Acquiescence, as well as the Lash of Slanesh, the Portal Glyph, and then also the Locus of Grace, which is pretty powerful, but perhaps not against other demon factions. Thanks, I'll try and watch it, but I will have even less time for Warhammer. You know, problem. And I honestly, generally, hand on heart, I think you'll love it. I really do. It's on Netflix. The whole thing is up there now. You can watch all up to season 5. They've actually given Action to go ahead and finish off the final 2 books in a film. So it is really, really good. I really very much did enjoy it for sure. It was very, very good. You play very strong-headed Uhtred in the beginning, who certainly changes throughout time. But yes. Kratos. What about Kratos, Prophet? Or I missed it. That's the one. Oh, right, okay. Miao Ying cleavage. I mean, send on the Discord, right? Let's see what that's all about. Go on, surprise me. Surprised there is no tops of Zhao Ming mod. Also, Goros Warhoof would make a great Slanesh Lord. I don't know about that one. Don't know about that one. But yeah, also technically, I don't think... I forget his name now. We'll come back to it in a minute. We'll come back to it in a minute. So we're going to be in the final game of the final between both of these legends. We're going to be having Traitor with Slanesh here and the Mass Marauder Spears going up against the Core Knight forces of Matthew. With the Bloodletters coming forward here with the Spawn of Khorne. Of course, no range tools here coming from the faction of Slanesh. Of course, the Spawn could really get in and shred some. Coming over to the flanks, we are going to be getting in the Chaos Furies. They're going to charge into the backside here of the Hellstriders. They're going to be committed into fight. Only 15 armor, so of course the Furies with that Frenzy are going to be doing some devastating work for sure. In the front, we are going to get Exalted Demonettes backed up here by the Marauder Spears. The Marauder Spears are going to be dying in droves. Going to move to the back here as we get a summon of the Bloodletters in the back. They can certainly rear charge here up against the Exalted Demonettes. They do have magic damage, they are anti-infantry, and they do bring some armor piercing to the table. They're going to be thumping right into the backside of the Demonettes of Slanesh. They have a buckload of armor piercing, but not much anti-infantry. Cavalry charges here up against the summon of the Bloodletters. In the back, Marauder Spear is going to be dropping in droves, and we definitely need to get the cavalry in much sooner. This cavalry here, unfortunately, might be costing Traitorkin with very, very little action. We are going to be getting in with some of the cavalry. Some have pulled in and are now pulling out. The remainder of the cavalry got swooped here by the Chaos player. It looks like here we are going to be dying with the Bloodletters. It looks like the Exalted Demonettes did do all the good butchery. That's for sure. You can see getting those melee attack increases with all of these surrounding units that are going to be going back to the Core Knight rounds. In the middle, Bloodletters is going to be suffering massively. Balance of Power is actually going to be pulling here to Matthew and the forces of Khorne. We do get actually the Chaos Fury summon, the Portal Glyph summoned forward here by the Lord Choice. She definitely wants to get involved in the middle where possible. Spears in the back need to get back into a little bit of battle. Some more Spears here going to join up against the Spawn of Khorne. We get a cheeky rampage there. We could be back in the fight. Furies here going to be fighting the sky up against the Furies of Khorne. Definitely want to get these round. You only need one fighting. You don't need that many fighting. That's a little bit of overkill. But we do see here some Seekers charging in and amongst most of the Amok. Now, we do see a lot of units here going back to their selected realms of chaos. We do see some Bloodletters here going back to the realms of Khorne. And the same could be said here for a lot of these Seekers. Sweet Sorrow getting activated there, giving that Vigor and Speed increase, which extra speed here for Slanesh is quite a bit. But getting that Vigor back is very, very nice. Of course, Cavalry really do eat up Vigor very, very quickly. We do see Spears charging through here. Maybe trying to see if we can compromise some of the units. But you can see 110 speed here for the Chaos Furies. Really going to be compromising these Seekers of Slanesh. Of course, they pay a lot for physical resistance, so having magic damage is going to be very nice indeed. Spears for the anti-large can be doing some quite nice work in the middle. Bloodletters really chewing through with the Spawn of Khorne on top. Marauder Spearmen have fallen in droves here, unfortunately, and the majority of their infantry falling into the Slanesh realms. Oh, look at that Sword of Khorne! Straight down on the face here of the cavalry, and then also the Marauder Spears. What an absolute thumping for sure. Jesus, and I believe Balance of Power is still very even with 3 minutes into one of the most explosive games I've ever witnessed. But we are going to be having the Seekers charging the back here up against the Chaos Furies. These pay a lot for armor piercing. I do want to actually maybe come in with more of the Marauders. Might have maybe been a little bit better, but it's hard to say really. But you see a lot of the Furies here are going to be falling. They're really going to be taking a lot of cavalry with them. We see the Flesh Hounds charging over to the side. They're going to circumvent that physical resistance thanks to having that magic damage. And yeah, they're going to be taking them down in droves. 65 weapon strength, which is pretty much going to be uncompromised outside of poison. Traitorkin is going to pull out GG's, and well played to Matthew, who is going to be the Season 5 Land Battle winner here on the Shorebid League. So fantastic stuff. No problem. I've been getting all my cinema from a single site before Netflix. Oh yeah, no worries, bro, no worries. So GG's well played here. Matthew coming through. Oh, I saw a few of you sneaky ones switching over to Matthew. I saw that. None of you are backing my boy. Now, well played. Thank you very much to Traitor and then also Matthew playing very, very well in today's tournament. GG's and well played. Let's switch on over there for Matthew. We're going to give him a big dumpski there with the 2 and he is going to be today's victor. So let's lock that in there. Now Matthew coming in with the first win there with Kislev, Traitor bringing it back with, I believe, Smoker Kingdoms, and of course Matthew bringing it there with Khorne. So that's going to be saved, and then we're going to finish off the tournament, locking that in history there. Season 5 coming into the hands of Matthew. Very, very well played. 2 wins to Traitor with 1 loss, and then of course 2 wins for Matthew. So yeah, very, very strong performance. Yeah, GG's well played. Very, very strong. I think this is incredibly hard for Sanesh. And I can see why he went with a bunch of Seekers. Of course, just, you know, expecting perhaps a lot of armor coming from Khorne. Perhaps he was expecting a lot of halberds, etc. But yeah, the smaller Khorne plus bucket loads of bloodletters was yeah, certainly very good. 660 and 1,150 there for the Exalted Demonettes, with 460 for the Herald of Sanesh with the Sanesh magic. We saw 825 there for the Seekers, 712, 880, and 960 from the 4 units of cavalry. From the 3 units of the Hell Striders, 320, 200, and 550, with the Marauder Spears coming in at 340, 27, 54, and 150. Herald of Khorne coming at 580, 650 there for Uhtred of Bebbanburg with 920, 1,680 there for the Spawn of Khorne. 300, 550, 700, 300, and 400 for the Bloodletters of Khorne, with 550 and 625 for the Fleshhounds. 350, 270, and 316 for the Furies, and yeah, very nice performance overall. Hype, very good. Watching battles makes me get better. 100%, Mr. Royal, 100%. Always makes you get better for sure. Not sure what Sanesh could do possibly against the Khorne build, to be honest. Well, let's have a little look whilst we finish off here. So we go host this here with myself. Failed to host. There we go. So if we do go here into the realms of Sanesh. What can you do here? Where's my Sanesh forces? There we go. So what can you do here, really? It's quite a tough one, I think. I definitely think a Herald of Shadows would probably be the way that I go. Herald of Shadows with the Melkos Mystifying Miasma and the Penumbral Pendulum is probably where I would go. Drop Smoke and Mirrors. Soul Siphon could be good. Locus of Grace. The problem with Khorne is they got the majority magic damage. The only way they get outside of that is your regular Khornite infantry. They're going to be, you know, with the melee defense and physical resistance. Holy hell! Prophet Oreo with the $50, bro. Bro, you did not have to do that, man. Please, did you mean to put $5 up? I mean, dude, thank you very, very much. Man, you did not have to do that. You did not have to do that. Thank you very much. If that was a mistake and you meant to put up $5, no dramas, let me know and I will refund you. But thank you very, very much. That's absolutely incredible. Thank you very much, but I really appreciate that. That's very, very kind indeed. Big salute here to Prophet Oreo. Thank you very much, man. That's incredibly, incredibly kind. Yeah, so I think if we go back on... I think Exalted Demonettes are good. I think Exalted Demonettes certainly bring you know, a big element to the table. Cultist is always quite a nice way of getting cheap Demonettes and then also bringing some extra tank to the battlefield. So you can certainly, you know... It's 800 gold cost, which is pretty much what you get for the Exalted Demonettes. They are a summon, and she also brings her own elements to the battlefield as well. So you could go something like this. It wouldn't be the end of the world. It's tough. You could drop the Locus of Grace. I think I probably would drop the Locus of Grace. Probably keep the Portal Glyph. And then you've got some armor piercing on the front line. You probably want some... I did like the spears. I thought the spears were quite nice. They deal with dogs, etc. You deserve the 50 man. Dude, thank you very, very much. I really, really appreciate that, dude. That's incredibly kind. Thank you very much. Yeah, the problem with the Furies, Matt, is that their Furies outtrade your Furies. And the reason being is, yeah, you both pay for physical resistance, right? Because you're demons, essentially, with the Furies. But the problem is they're going to have better weapon stats than you. You pay for armor piercing. Armor piercing doesn't play anything at all here in this matchup. So his Furies have more melee attack and more weapon strength, so he just beats you with those Furies. So it's not particularly great there. The Spawn don't really offer too much, because if he goes massively heavily armored infantry, you're going to suffer. So you do want Hellstriders. I think Hellstriders are incredibly good. They offer you a bucket load of anti-large, which is really good up against the dogs. and then he went obviously Seekers, so he brought triple Seekers. This can work, but of course you can drop this and then go an extra unit of cavalry if you really want. This is a good place to start, I think, but I still think it's incredibly tough. The other way you can play it is you go Seeker Chariots. You go Seeker Chariots could be the way to go forward otherwise. So for example, you could drop, let's say we drop this one, this one, this one, this one. Let's say we went 4 cavalry instead. You could go 3 units of the Seeker Chariots to deal with infantry. Could be the other way to go around it. But it's an incredibly tough matchup that I don't particularly think that Slaanesh have the tools to deal with it. Maybe there's some other way that I don't know. I don't think it's their worst matchup. I do generally think Tzeentch is their worst matchup. But I just still don't think Heartseekers do it. They just don't do it for me. They just don't do it for me. I think roughly where he was at was where I would go, I think. But I've got an extra unit of cavalry in here, and yeah, I think maybe this is the way to go. Possibly. Also worried about him, blah, blah, blah. In my opinion, Portoglyph is bad because it is more food for Khorne Furies. So what I use the Portoglyphs because they're just summons, because like I don't think there's any benefit for Khorne for killing them, right? Khorne, they don't get any benefits to just killing them, do they? No, they don't get any benefits for killing them. Yeah, so for the Portoglyph, the reason I use the Portoglyph is recharging certain units, or I use it just to keep back their Furies. They're just summons, right? And the Portoglyphs gives me 2 summons. So the Portoglyph costs me, what, 200 gold to summon 2 550 gold units. So essentially, if you use it correctly, that's 1100 gold you can get on the battlefield for 200 gold investment. Is the way I think about it. Prophet nice donation, man. Thanks for supporting our board logic. Yeah, thank you so much, man. Thank you very, very much. It's incredibly kind. Incredibly kind. Also, I'll be moving in a few days, bud, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to catch stream very soon. Oh, sorry to hear that, man, but where are you moving to? I'd love to know where you're moving to. And is there any reason you're moving? Maybe a job, life? What's the reason, bro? Hoping for Chariot buffs next patch for Slaanesh and Khorne, to be honest. Yeah. I guess for delay, maybe it is good. Yeah, it's just to kind of hold back those things. Then also you can recharge certain units. You know, and you put that -16 leadership. So if like a unit's pretty low on leadership, you can get that recharge -16 leadership, and then try and do it there. Yeah, any more chariot buffs is just going to make better chariots even more overpowered, which is why you've got to be careful. Exalted Seekers could be a way. Exalted Seeker Chariots could be a way. So, for example, you could put an Exalted Seeker Chariot here on your Lord choice. And then you also have to drop a cavalry, which is also another way around it. You certainly can do that. And then hope that your chariot can do the work. You've got to be careful of it getting pinned in by dogs, etc. Because it still only has 40 armor. So it can get shredded quite quickly. But I think this is where I go with it. This is where I would go with it, right? This is where I would go with it. Now, if you guys want as well in the future, what I can do is I used to do on Twitch. I used to do sort of like you guys would send me in videos. I would break down where some of the mistakes were. I would go maybe with some army changes, some discussions and stuff like that. You know, kind of helps the newer players out in the scene and how they can improve and all of those kind of things. So if you want to see some live streams and some videos like that, do feel free to let me know on the Discord. Yeah, feel free to get in touch with me and say, hey, listen, you know, I'd love to do those kind of things, and you know, kind of help me get better at multiplayer and that kind of thing. We can certainly revisit some of those live streams for sure. Some of them to stop their Furies intercepting cavalry, I guess. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I use the Furies. I use the Portoglyph as a bit of a roadblock, I guess. Yeah, a bit of a roadblock. They don't have huge mass, but it's not tiny either. 150 is like what, same as infantry? Oh, infantry's got even less actually. Yeah, it's got even less. So think about it as more than infantry. Yeah. What demon knights got? Oh, they're really light. Jesus Christ, yeah. You know, one of these demon knights get pushed over all the time. But yeah, no. Yeah, so thank you very much for everybody that watched today. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you yet again for Prophet Oreo for the fantastic donation. That really, really does go a long way. So thank you very much, guys, for all of your amazing support. Just watching, liking, subscribing, everything really, really helps you on the channel. I'm gonna leave a hey, Wellbeater, how you doing? I'm gonna leave a link here to Prophet Oreo. For those that don't know him, he's a fantastic guy that does he does lots of games here on Twitch. He's predominantly a Twitch
And I'll keep the balance too.
player.
Alright.
So he plays lots of games from there, including Warhammer as well. So do feel free to go check him out there. Please go give him some love from me. So thank you very much, man, for supporting the channel. Please go do likewise for me, guys. I'd really appreciate that. He plays Warhammer and many other games as well. Like myself, he's going to be playing, and hopefully him and I will be doing some more streams coming forward. So thank you very much again, bro. Thank you very much to everybody that watched. I really hope you enjoyed today. We'll hopefully be doing some more tournaments coming throughout the weeks. Of course, Warhammer is in a stage where it's suffering a little bit. I'm going to try and do some Warhammer 2. I'm going to keep going with the Warhammer 3 as much as I possibly can. 95% of what I do will be Warhammer 3. And then I'll also try and see if I can get some Grimhammer in there. Maybe get some Warhammer 2 Grimhammer. Maybe something like that. Maybe that's something that we can discuss. No, of course I do. Of course I do. Of course I do. And I believe Prophet Aura is going to be doing some multiplayer tonight. So do feel free to go check him out. Go sign up. And then go have some fun. Guys, thank you very much for tonight. Thank you again, Prophet Oreo. And I'll see you guys very soon. Take care.